welcome to Directly to You. It's the 100th episode, number 100. We're here, man. We do this every week, and we've been doing it every week for the past, 40-something weeks. Something.
I think like 50-something since January.
Whoa.
Last year.
That's crazy.
That's 50.
That's
Yeah, because I started on episode 47, and I don't think we've missed one since then.
Nope. But anyways, we said we a lot, but we didn't say who that is. We're fanatixfour. Me and Parker. Me and him. The guy said that's true. That's Parker. And we're here with Dan because it's episode 100, and he's only invited for the special ones. Because
I'm only invited
because he's special, but not special enough to come more often.
All right. I see how it is.
But yeah,
throwing shade real early.
Housekeeping. You know I got to do it. Housekeeping. You can support this channel by going to youtube.com/fanatixfour or twitch.tv/fanatixfour and clicking the join or subscribe buttons respectively for $4.99. You get exclusive emotes. You get gaming. What? Shut up, Dan. You get loyalty badges. You get gaming time with us every Wednesday, or if something cool is happening on a different day like this week, because they're doing max raids for Toxtricity, and it's going to be lit. We're all going to play. If you're a supporter, join in, man. Join in on the Discord. It's going to be a good old fun time. But apart from that, you can join our Discord regardless if you give us $4.99 or not by clicking the link in the description. We talk about stuff, man. People show pictures of their dogs. They talk about their jobs. Duncan says yo sometimes.
That's true. I want all the dog pics, man.
Well,
I didn't know you had the dog pic channel.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think that's a channel, but it could be.
Are there fun dog memes?
Yes. See, Grimhane's a mod, so I'm surprised there isn't a dog channel. Honestly,
here's some just for fun, some exclusive for the YouTube video.
There it is.
I think it's so funny. If you're not watching the YouTube video and you're listening to it on podcast service, that's fine.
No.
It's not, but it's so good.
We're taking this in a different direction. We're going to talk about dog breeding.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about dogs.
We were talking about Pokemon breeding, and then we just tangented off of that,
Yeah,
and it worked.
Man, it did. It's a good old fun time. But anyways, that's housekeeping. Is anybody playing any of the video games?
I mean, I'm playing the same
yeah,
stuff.
The original Sid. Yes,
you got it. That's the one.
I just finished the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC.
Okay, how was that? Because when I saw it, I was like, I don't know how people are not upset about this in comparison to the whole Pokemon situation.
So there's basically 3 chapters to the thing, and that first chapter is very much like, are you kidding me? I'm rewatching 90% of the ending. It's ridiculous,
man.
But then I got to the second episode, and it's like, oh, you guys didn't think Kingdom Hearts 3 was hard enough? Well, here you go. Screw you. And it was the hardest. It was the hardest time I've ever had playing a Kingdom Hearts game. There were a couple times where I just threw the controller and walked away. I was like, I wanted to have a nice, relaxing time.
Did the difficulty
the and the light and the keys?
Did it feel good, or did it feel arbitrary?
When you beat it, it felt great, and there was definitely the first time it's 13 extra bosses. And the first time you battle each one was very much okay, I'm going to mess up a bunch of times, figure out the mechanics, and then I'll figure out how to defend and attack and all that sort of stuff. Once you got the rhythm down, you could do it. But it was definitely the beginning of just I can't stand this. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to power through.
Let me ask you this. Is it the Dark Souls of Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, it is the Dark Souls of Kingdom Hearts.
That's the title. No.
As far as chapter 1, yeah, exactly. The chapter 1 being a lot of recap and stuff at the end. Is it? I mean, I assume you can buy the DLC whether you've beaten. You can buy it whether you've beaten the game or not. And can you play the DLC whether you've beaten the game or not?
You have to beat the game in order to play the DLC, because it takes. The first chapter is telling it from a different perspective, so you can see exactly what happens to Sora at the kind of they don't really. It's not clear what happens to him at the very end, and this just kind of clarifies it. But the problem is that you have to watch the freaking cinematics 6 more times.
Yeah,
and then the second one is the aftermath of everything you saw from Kingdom Hearts 3, and then the secret final chapter sets up what Kingdom Hearts 4 will be about, what it might be about.
Interesting. Is it me, or I was thinking about this? Somebody was talking about Smash and Sakurai and Sora Limited, which is his company that makes, I mean, that's his like DBA or whatever. And it's ironic to me that Sora's not in the game when like that's the whole company name.
Yeah, I think
shower thought for you.
I don't know if that's related or not.
It's not, but like
he's in.
Oh no, it is.
Super
He knows
Smash
it
is.
But nice, yeah.
Smash Flash now with the new update, apparently.
Cool. Are you making that up, or is that a real thing?
It's a real thing. It's a real thing, dude. I was gonna see. This was the thing. That was
sounds copyright infringing. If I'm being honest,
it does, but it's
real close. If not,
it's a fan game, which I was.
Okay, then that's fine. Dan, you don't know anything about those.
They got Super Smash Flash, dude.
What's a fan game? I don't know.
They gotta do Super Smash Flash video after the Pokemon one. Who knows?
Oh no!
And that's even more of a reason why Dan needs to stop avoiding me in Smash. But yeah, I've been playing that, man. I had a good old time yesterday with that whole. Did you see that video?
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was good. I liked it.
Twitter.
Fill people in. Yeah.
fanatixfour /post 1.
It's A McCray Jr. Fake fan, dude.
Ah, damn it!
It was on my Twitter, not the Fanatics.
That's right.
Twitter. But yeah, that was good. People were like, "You didn't do it on purpose. You're so lucky." I'm like, "What are you talking about? The move gives you like a year to be like, okay, he's gonna drop you. He's gonna drop you. He's gonna drop you. Hold left, dude." And that's all I did. I held left, and then I jumped, and then I sat there to rub it in. And I came. Smash. That's what I've been doing.
Nice. But yeah, so final thoughts, Dan, on Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC? Or not even necessarily final thought. Oh, whatever that is, that's fun.
Was that your phone? was that your phone? Perhaps you should silence your phone.
Perhaps I thought I did. A call.
And do what? And I think that actually sums up my Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC thoughts. It's like a cell phone going off in the middle of a podcast recording.
There you go.
It's like so exciting you're getting a phone call, but also it's going off in the middle of a recording.
I feel like that's the worst possible way to like relate something to somebody unless they have a podcast. You know?
Yeah. Well,
in which case. I mean, we were just talking to us, so we get it, we get it. I mean, it's about.
Parker just confirms that we're not talking to the audience ever again.
Ever
again.
So I'm used to, the podcast format at this point. My sister and I were hanging out back, I don't know, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago or something. And she was like on a kick of just decided like I'd like to record conversations with people just to like have record, especially like grandparents and stuff who like she doesn't see very often. So she was like, yeah, we were driving for a while. We were going far away. And that sounds like a fake thing. I don't know, whatever. We're going far away. Whatever. We were driving. And she was recording our conversation because she was like, hey, is it okay if I just like record it and just talk? I was like, yeah, sure. But I kept talking to it every once in a while, like, and if you're listening to this, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, stop it. Don't do that anymore. And I'm like, I can't help it, but it's hard to, and I don't want to. So,
yeah. And don't forget to support.
And now you're ruined.
Exactly.
Yeah, now you're definitely ruined. You're going to be like, and ring the bell, and be sure to join the Discord.
Yep.
Are you turning on notifications? Make sure those are turned on.
Indeed. Anything else you guys are playing?
No.
Cool.
Pokemon, kind of.
Hopefully soon we'll be playing. Well, we will soon be playing Animal Crossing.
That's true. It's very close.
That's true, but we won't have the ability to back up our saves because that's the topic.
We?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Question mark! Exclamation point!
Right.
The clickbait when you're already 10 minutes into the thing.
Picture of Mr. Rossetti.
Dan's got it. But yeah, so I guess, you guys, here's this news. Animal Crossing they'd confirmed at some point that it wasn't getting any cloud saves at all, but then now it's sounding like maybe you'll be able to get cloud save, or maybe you'll be able to back it up for you to retrieve it if you get if your Switch is lost or broken or stolen or something like that. Within the 1 week, I feel like we've gotten some various reports on it. So I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah. They got a lot of like disparate information all over the place on Animal Crossing in general, that they're just like, that's why I'm on the case. I haven't really looked into the save data situation just yet, but it does seem like they're trying to like, it seems like they're going to have some type of solution for the worst case scenario of it like disappearing, but not be as straightforward as just using the cloud storage, or because they're going to have to do some sort of, or at least they feel like they're going to have to do some sort of like thing where a middleman's there to intercept any type of like,
shenanigans.
Yeah.
I got you.
But like, so what if there's shenanigans? It's Animal Crossing.
Very true. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think is if there were, and I very doubt it, but if there's some kinds of features that makes it, I don't know, competitive or something along those, like if there's an extra thing in there, but even then, like that's not the main thing. So who cares if there's like a mode? And again, I don't think Animal Crossing is going to have anything competitive.
I think they care because it burns away the value faster.
That is true.
And they don't want to like let people spoil their meal, as it were, right?
Yeah.
Or other people's, because it could very much be somebody that's new to the game, right? And they're just like, I want all the new things, right? And then you immediately give them the new thing, and then they don't really have anything to enjoy after that. And then they're like, well, this game sucks. And it's like, yeah, because you skipped to the ending, right? So like,
I mean, they bought the game already, so like,
that's true, but you also like for Kingdom Hearts, right? They don't want you hacking the game to get right to the last level of the game when you first
that's fair.
So like, I would assume that Nintendo doesn't want that either.
Yep. The tricky thing is like, I think the people that are going to be able to hack stuff, I mean, and the people that do are going to be able to do that regardless. Like that's, like the people
they're going to be able to do that on their end, but it will be a lot harder to do that and then share it with other people. Is the thing.
Sure.
I guess, I mean, how would backup, because I mean, save data like or clouds or whatever, I could see how, you could reload from an older save because I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about
I think it's
the Animal Crossing formula.
Like, say you're messing with your save, right? As a hacker boy, right?
Always. That's day in, day out.
Yeah. And then you bork your save, but you have the cloud save. So it gives you that opportunity to be like, well, I'm just going to, mess with my game and learn how to do this thing. And then I have a free restart once I bork my game from doing this. I think that that's also a hindrance for them in that regard. But
I just think it's if that is why they're doing it, it's a bit of an overreaction for that handful of people that are going to be hacking, because Animal Crossing is the game you play when you don't want to stress out and you just want to like hang out.
Because like, look at something like Splatoon, right? Like obviously not everybody in the user base of Splatoon knows how to hack, but it's still kind of overrun with hackers.
I guess the question too is how easy it is to do it once you like, if you can do it, just how easy it is to do it. Because if having save or cloud saves or whatever just makes it super easy for anybody to do it, and that like it means that this exclusive item you can only get at Christmas, I can now get it year round as just a Joe Schmo who looked up one YouTube video about it, then I think that is a problem. Like if and I don't know enough about it to know that's the case.
They already like they have this thing in place to be like no cloud saves, and people are still hacking that game.
With everyone is hacking
and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think in general, there's a way around it that they could do. I mean,
oh yeah, definitely.
And it's just, it seems a bit silly because it seems very binary. Like either we're doing it the easy way or we're not doing it at all. But
it sounds like that.
I also don't think
it seems like it's not binary anymore. It was.
That's true.
Yeah. But now they're trying to have some sort of like middle ground, and we don't know what that is yet.
And if I'm being honest, the thing that I'm most curious about now, because I think like the main reason you want cloud saves is if your Switch breaks or is lost or stolen, like that's really important. And I'm super down for that. Right. secondary thing that's also important is like
Switch Lite and having a Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
Yeah, or like if you just buy a new Switch and need to transfer it over, it sounds like that wouldn't be a thing. Like when you got your new
it
Switch,
sounds like
AJ.
you can. It sounds like you can.
Okay, so
you
for
can
mine,
so you can do the transfer from one console to another console.
Gotcha.
You won't
Then
be able to do it if you don't have that console anymore.
In that case, honestly, like if those two things are covered, I think everything else past that is kind of like just us wanting it for the sake of wanting it, but it's like it's not really that important.
It's like just in case something happens, sort of thing, which is like I don't know. I don't know. It seems weird to me that people act like a lot of the like new conveniences are like expected now. Like, how can I ever enjoy anything if it doesn't have cloud saves? Rewind 4 years ago or whatever, right? Like that wasn't a standard, you know. So I don't know. It's just weird that certain things are like, how could you ever enjoy a game if it doesn't have modern conveniences?
This one, you're not gonna like this one, but how could you ever enjoy Mario 64 if it's running at 15 frames per second every once in a while?
Yeah, no, I can't.
I'm just bashing on AJ, but
I mean, the thing is,
why I don't enjoy Mario 64 for the record.
Yeah,
it's because the 64
it's
controller's
just
garbage.
Yes, right.
I mean, that's true.
And it was then too. Continue, Dan.
So I mean, the thing is, it's like, it's obviously not going to be a deal breaker. Like, it's not something to be like, well, now I'm not buying this game because I'm not getting these cloud saves. But it's also, in my opinion, it's also like not doing cloud saves just seems like. It seems so unnecessary if it's possible to do. Why not? Because it's like, I don't see it's both ways. It's like, okay, we don't have it, so what? And it's also like, yeah, but you could do it, so what? It's the whole situation is like, okay, so what?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, because I don't know enough about why they haven't done it.
Yeah, right.
Like if it was just a thing of like, I don't want to do that. And whatever. But like if it was a thing of like, oh, we could do this, but that's going to take an extra 4 months of development time or extra $300,000 or whatever. It's like, do we want to spend that on this thing or just not do it? You know, if it is like a ROI situation of like, how many people actually care about this or how much does this actually matter to spend extra time and effort getting this, like a significant amount of extra time and effort getting this to work or just not doing it. If it is that, then I can see why. But if it is just a thing of like, we don't feel like doing it, which I wouldn't understand. I highly doubt that it's just a thing that's like, we don't want to do it, guys. You know? So I'd be curious to see if they explain why.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I imagine we'll get an Animal Crossing Direct before it comes out because that's just the way it normally goes and it's bound to happen. But yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens. I'll also be curious to see what happens as the Switch lifespan goes on, because apparently it's going to be a lot longer than other ones before, which that's it. So we've got a quote. This is from Nintendo Life from Furukawa that he said at some point with his words and himself.
Those were good words you used.
I worked really hard on them just for you.
You're a goddamn wordsmith.
But yeah, so he said this. The Nintendo Switch will soon have been on sale for 3 years. We feel it is a different kind of console than the ones we have previously released. In addition to the flagship Switch model, we also released the Nintendo Switch Lite, which can only be played as a handheld. This allows the user to choose a console to fit their lifestyle. We're also looking into the current market and feel there are many different ways to think about future console development. On the other hand, software is also very important. So in the short term, while the Nintendo Switch install base continues to expand, we must place a lot of focus on that. By placing our main focus on the Nintendo Switch, we feel we can have a very different, longer hardware lifecycle than previous Nintendo consoles. And then he went on to say, the most important thing for us is whether we can maintain the momentum of Nintendo Switch. In addition to continuously introducing new software, we believe that it'll be very important to continue our efforts to sell titles that we have released so far.
Sounds good. Also, NVIDIA said something about them expecting that their relationship with Nintendo will last 2 decades.
Yeah.
Which, like, what, dude? But at the same time, I mean, it's not completely surprising because, like, AMD could have said the same thing back in the GameCube days. So even though I don't know if they actually expected that, but it makes a lot more sense with NVIDIA, like just how their architecture is and like how much better they are at future proofing and how much more modern they are. Like they're going to be like a leader in that space for much longer than like AMD would have been. And they're for if they continue to go in this like hybrid form factor, it's just a better chipset for that than like a like a beefy like x86 or whatever, something like that. Or they're like x88 or something like that now.
Definitely, like X, probably 200. If I'm being honest,
way more X's, especially on the Xbox Series X.
The Xbox Series X with the square to the X,
starring Vin Diesel, Triple X.
Yeah,
right. He's Triple
nailed
X. Is that right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
I originally also, when that movie came out, I was like in 7th grade or something. And I mean, it's probably rated R, but I thought I wouldn't have been allowed to watch it because I thought it was rated Triple X. And like, which also I don't think is an actual thing. Like, pretty sure. But I was like, whoa, that is a serious movie.
That's real serious. That's got some stuff in it, man.
It sure does. All of the stuff. Oh man. But yeah, this is interesting. I mean, it's also a little bit not interesting only because I think they said this also a long time ago. Like, not with these specific words.
All the time with everything all the time.
Yeah. Well,
like, we got a console. We don't plan on not selling that console, so we're not going to say that we're going to make another one that you might want to buy instead.
Except for when the Wii U was out, and they were like, NX is also coming out at some point.
Like that was the thing of like, you're not buying this, so like,
we'll let you know the secret.
We'll move on.
Let's keep you in here, Like, don't leave just yet.
I do think, though, compared to other consoles, the Switch has the potential to live on longer than most, because at this point in time, that like dividing line between like PC gaming and console gaming is becoming like thinner and thinner. Like the Xbox Series X, it looks like a computer tower.
Right.
And it's just going to be a little bit more affordable. But even with I saw earlier that PlayStation was talking about streaming some of their games to the Switch, and then like Xbox is something behind the scenes with Nintendo as well. So like these big, AAA games that need to be played on like heavy, powerful consoles won't really matter anymore.
Yeah.
If we're all just streaming it on some other system that can handle it with no problem. So as long as we have a decent internet connection and the Switch can provide the internet connection, which it's been touch and go.
I don't even know how decent the internet connection needs to be. I think it would just more than likely need to be stable, and then like 30 megabytes per second, which the Switch could do.
I mean, maybe less for depending on the output.
If we're talking if we're talking
15,
like 4K and like 4K 60 frames per second and stuff like, it's probably gonna be like 30 frames. I mean, 30.
Yeah, well, and you're not really going to get that on your Switch that can only do 1080.
No, you can get yeah.
So
you mean
apparently it can upscale to 4K is a thing
like,
that
you can probably get 4K. You could probably get 4K just in general, like even undocked, but it would be worthless because the screen is 720p. But on the like docked, you can get 4K if you're streaming.
Sure. Yeah, if you're streaming it, but like you're going to be using your Switch mostly in like portable mode, and you'll dock it if you wanted to play a specific Nintendo title. If you want to play like, I don't know, like what's a big game right now? I guess
there aren't any really.
There's no big games. If you want to play the new God of War,
even if they're like, if people want to play freaking Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever, dude, like the next one, 2078,
you got it.
2078. You're not going to play that on your Switch. You're going to play it on.
Maybe you will. If
maybe the 2077 is actually not the year they're talking about. This is number 200 or 2077 in like that number entry, and they just skipped all the other ones. They're like,
just skipped
2076 and before all sucked.
Or the sequel takes place in the year after that. Parker, you dumb.
I know. I'm saying like I could make like if I made Angry Birds 2 and everybody's like, oh, where's Angry Birds 1? I didn't make it. I just skipped right to 2. It's real good. So this is like up there.
Yeah.
It's like
Just
this Angry Birds was so good that I couldn't name it the first one, dude. It had to be two.
If I named it the first one, the bar would be raised way too high. At least if I call it the second one, you're like, that's going to be the best in the series, and everything else is going to degrade from there.
Exactly.
So true. Just like Lion
You know what?
King
That
2.
might be a strat. That's a strat. If you come out with the first thing of something, name it the second one.
I have thought that for so many years, and I wanted to happen.
People are always going to say the second one is the best one. I mean, is the worst one anyway, but they're not going to say it now because the second one came out first.
I so much want that to happen. Like, I think, like, marketing teams or whatever will all have decided if a movie ever is like, okay, let's just do it. Let's call it blah, blah, blah too. Their marketing team's going to be like, no, we're not going to do that. But it would make me so happy.
I mean, if it's a comedy or like a goof game, you just name it 2, and like that's just the gag is like, oh, we don't talk about the first one.
I mean, that's kind of like for anybody who watches Star Trek. At some point, so the Klingons in the Way original series look like one thing. They're just like pretty much white guys with Fu Manchus is what they look like, and then in the Next Generation and onwards they look like Klingons look. And at some point in Deep Space Nine they go back in time to the original one, and dude asks Worf, he's like, hey, how come you guys look so different from the Klingons back then? And he's like, we don't talk about that. That's their whole logic for it, which I'm like, all right, that works. Like, it's a dark part of our past. Like, I'm sure, I guess, if you say so.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, but I think, Dan, I think you're right. The streaming thing, I think, is the solution for longevity, probably, if it's trying to keep up with other consoles in that regard. Like, I mean, otherwise, theoretically, they just don't, and they mostly do indies, dedicated third-party games, and first-party games, and second-party games and stuff,
and also,
just don't have multiplats. But like,
they patented that whole supplemental hardware thing. And that wouldn't even be unique to them. Like, that's a thing in like PC, where you can get an external GPU and stuff like that. So like they could go that route if they wanted to, especially if they could like build it into the dock and just have like 4K gaming on your dock. Just dock your Switch or whatever.
I think the interesting thing with this for me too is what's fun is we could see more sequels, like in-engine sequels kind of stuff on the same console. I mean, like we're getting Breath of the Wild 2, and theoretically like Mario Odyssey 2 or something like those kinds of things. That means that we'd get more games of a certain quality faster because they're not having to go back to the drawing board every time about the same foundational kinds of things, just about the creative things, which is like, that's fun. So I'm excited about that.
Me too.
Yep. I'm also kind of excited about The Outer Worlds, I guess. It's one of those that I saw in other things, and I was like, I'll probably play this at some point, but not until I finish more backlog things.
I almost played it on my Xbox, and then I was like, I don't want to do that, so I didn't.
I played that on PC, and I went, okay.
Nice.
Isn't it just like a Fallout game, but not Fallout?
It's Fallout in space.
So, okay, that makes me
fall up.
I don't.
Got it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, is it up? Is it up? Really?
It's the final frontier.
Up is relative. Up is relative.
It's like, I assume, like, I don't, like, Skyrim and Fallout, I have a hard time getting into because I like to side quest. And I'll side quest forever until the point where I'm like, all right, I didn't do any of the main story, but I feel like I got what I needed out of this game, so I'm done.
I don't like those games because I like to play games that work. And when I play Fallout 4, when I play Fallout 4 for TGN, that situation, I fell through a wall. It auto-saved right when I fell through the wall, and I lost 3 hours of progress. And I was like, well, I'm not playing this game
again.
Like,
that's hard.
Rip, it's like, that's not happening.
Yep. No, I'm totally with you though, Dan, because so the other day, Mitch asked me, so like, what's the like story beat? So like, what's the kind of main thing you're trying to do in Divinity Original Sin 2? And I was like, yeah, It sure is. Like, there's something. I know some kinds of people around that are doing some good things and other ones doing some bad things. But like real plot wise, I'm like I'm just having fun doing things. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's a great game. It's just not the kind of game that I generally play.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the news story.
The news story is, they're delaying it. It was going to come out on Switch on March 6th, but it's not going to anymore because they're delaying it because the Virtuos team is something about the coronavirus, which is, they said, is impacting them.
Yeah. So I'm sure, I'm pretty
sure.
Where
are they located? Okay. That's what I wondered.
So yeah,
I'm gonna look
that's wild. And there's a lot of stuff that's being brought up, like manufacturing Switch. Like they're
they're in China.
Yeah,
with that. So
Show
like,
enough.
It's wild.
Show enough.
That's crazy. Did you say show enough? And twice?
I did. Yeah, and I caught myself after the fact.
But you said it twice though.
No, the second time was like in disbelief.
Why
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that happened. I can't take that back. I could in post, but not from you guys.
That's true.
Nope.
But yeah, the one interesting bit with this is they will now have. So before there was going to be a physical version, but it was going to be a download code in there. But then people were making a big stink about that. So now there's actually going to be a physical cartridge. Which
for people
either to me implies that they were having to like barely get it in on time in the first place to where they just wouldn't have had time to print all the cartridges. So it was just a logistics thing on that front, or they heard fan outcry and did something about it that way. But
yeah,
not really sure which one.
Yeah,
both maybe,
possibly so. But yeah, so that's that. So if you're looking forward to that coming out, you got to just be a little more patient.
I don't wanna.
You're gonna have to be, because God, I mean,
yeah,
I'm constant. Not that I'm constantly worried. It's one of the things that I'm really nervous about moving back to LA is because of a couple cases of that in there. I mean, they've done a good job keeping that contained, but like, I have a cough. One day and I go like, oh God, and
this is it.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. And like, just on my own thing, just sending my own like good vibes and thoughts and everyone dealing with that stuff. Cause it's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't super kept up with it to know where we are in terms of like in general treating it. And like people that have it, if we figured out any kind of stuff about that. So
it's basically a super nasty flu, a really like super nasty, like, so
gotcha.
It really depends on, is your immune system healthy? Then you'll probably be okay. But if you have a
terrible time, system,
it's hard to tell exactly, but
yep.
We're here to talk about video games, not devastating world current events.
True. So
that's a different podcast. Join me for my podcast, Cybert's Hey, the world's going to hell, and we're all going down with it.
Yep. And also going somewhere is Daemon X Machina going to Steam.
Oh, good.
They betrayed us in our time of need. Everybody wanted to play that game all by themselves on the Switch. And only on their Switch, and they betrayed us. They stabbed us squarely in the back.
Squarely in the back. So I said it on Twitter and I said it in my video this week, but I called it. I'm just proud of myself. The week beforehand, I was like, I wonder if Daemon X Machina is going to come to PC or something at some point. And then it is doing it. So cool. But yeah, it's interesting in general. Like, we never really know. So, long story short, Daemon X Machina, his game came out, obviously last summer or whatever.
It's a game that came out?
It sure did. And
some stuff happened. Robots.
People thought about it. And then the end of the world. But yeah, so it came out in September, I think September 5th or something like that. And it was a Switch exclusive. And Nintendo published it in the West. I think Marvelous and Xseed published it somewhere in Japan or something. I don't really know.
Weird if Xseed published.
I think they did something with it. But I don't know. You can look it up if you want. But yeah, and now they just announced that it's coming to Steam. The reason I was wondering if it would was just because it seems like it didn't sell very well at all, and kind of because of their own fault, from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I wonder if they have clauses that are like, if it doesn't sell well enough, then we can do other stuff with it. Like not other consoles, but PC or whatever, which is why I was wondering if maybe PC.
It kind of seems like it was just going to happen anyway.
Also possible.
If a game's going to come to PC, then it most likely either wasn't a timed exclusive. I mean, either it was a time exclusive the whole time, or it was a thing that Nintendo was like, oh, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that it was like it's a timed exclusive unless it sells this well, or like unless it's like a system seller for Switches, at which point then Nintendo would keep it.
So Xseed is publishing the PC version.
I thought they were interesting.
So in Japan, Marvelous published the Switch version.
Okay, gotcha.
Worldwide, Nintendo published the Switch version outside of Japan.
Yeah,
and Xseed is publishing the Windows.
Then how did I?
Worldwide.
That's weird.
You probably saw Xseed. It was probably episode 98 for you. You saw Xseed. That was the last thing you saw. So that's what you associated.
Maybe so
Yeah.
Except for I didn't even. Who's to say? But that's fine. But yeah, I'm curious also because this was also obviously the case with Octopath Traveler, even though that was third party and stuff, which is different. And I don't know, maybe it happened with some other ones. But do you guys see this happening more with other games, or I don't know, talking about that?
I think this is a pretty normal circumstance, honestly, especially with a game like that and at the timing that it happened, right? Like it's not like the game was like 3 years ago or something like that, right? Like,
yeah,
they could have had 6 months exclusivity with it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that
5 months.
I think this game might do better on Steam than on the Switch. I just think maybe just control wise, it might be better with a mouse and keyboard. I don't know.
Sounds like some nerd stuff.
Yeah, man, it's some nerd stuff right there, right?
I mean, or like mod support, that kind of stuff too.
That could be
interesting.
Cool. I don't think they will, but
yeah. I wonder too. Like, I don't know what the performance was like on Switch, so if that's better other places, that could be a thing too.
I know it wasn't great in the beta or whatever, but that was beta or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't ever try out the second demo. I only ever played the first demo, and like,
I think that's the thing that I think is the biggest issue. It wasn't that like it was too crowded or bad timing or anything like that. It's that they released that demo and it wasn't good. So then that had people in their mind being like, well, that game was not for me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then especially when they did the YouTube stuff afterwards, where like Marvelous was claiming every single video that was definitely the nail in the because I think there would have been a decent grounds, like if a lot of YouTube personalities or whatever were like, hey, yeah, it's pretty good, like I enjoy it, and got to actually make those videos, I feel like there would have been a decent base community that got it, and then from there probably that trickles up a little bit or trickles down or something. I don't know.
But that's assuming that the game actually was that, right?
Yeah, right.
Because it sounds like even after it came out with like the Game Explains of the world and stuff like that, they did put videos out. It was still like, this game exists. It wasn't like this game sucks or this game's great. It was just like, this game exists, and that is the death nail. Like, especially if prior to that, it was like, this game's the worst thing ever. And then they fix it, and then it's just okay. It's like, well, this isn't worth my time.
Yeah. It's one of those things that's like, the worst, when you're creating something, the worst thing you could be is right smack dab in the middle. Because, like, either you're bad in everything, everyone's talking about you because it is bad, or it's amazing and everyone's talking about you because it's amazing. But if it's just so bland and exists, it's just like, yeah, it's a game.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
It's sitting right alongside the other 17 games that came out on that day.
Yeah. It's rough. It's the worst place you want to be. You don't want to be in the middle. You either want to be way bad that it's good or the other way.
I've said this before, but like in movies, I have a pretty thin line of like movies that are just bad, but there's definitely movies that are just hilariously awful. And those are a lot of fun to watch. Like there's one that Ashley, my wife, and her Ashley (parentheses my wife) and her friends will watch on Amazon called, oh man, it's like a homemade movie kind of thing that's on Amazon Prime. What was it? Long Distance Princess. And it's the worst movie that's ever existed. But like, it's just so great to watch. Like I sat and watched it with them one time and I was like, this is just hilariously bad. And that's fun. But like, yeah, things that are like decent.
Yeah, it's like either your Sonic 06, your Sonic Forces, or your Sonic Mania. You want to be Sonic 06 or Sonic Mania. You don't want to be
True.
Yeah. I mean, just real quick, Alyssa dragged me to go see Cats 2019. I was so against it, and then I walked out of there and I went, I'm glad I experienced that, because it is a disaster on a whole nother level that you're just like, what? Like,
this is happening.
The best part about it was the audience, because like half of them came in very high.
Jeff, guys,
like they came in, one couple was just giggling, but like halfway through, like every event, everyone would just go like, what is happening? Like out loud in the theater.
Isn't that
like, I don't know.
Like, have these people never seen or heard of Cats before the movie? Because like Cats is just that. Like Cats is already like, what is this? Like what?
Yeah, but it gets even worse. It just becomes more like, what is even happening when they look like people, but they're not people? And like Sir Ian McKellen is like rubbing up against like pillars and stuff, and you're like, why?
That's the funniest thing to me, is the fact that he's in that movie, and man, I love it.
He's in a completely different movie. Like everyone else just like did their musical theater training to be Cats. He went and like observed cats and only cats. And then he was a cat. That was my tangent. I wanted to throw that out.
It's true, man. But bad things are bad, and sometimes that's just fun. So speaking of bad things, let's move on to AJ's video, which isn't bad. And I tricked you and gave a compliment instead.
Byleth,
let's do it. There you go. But yeah, you made a video. Any words you want to say before we get into it?
Byleth isn't good in this game. Well, that's not true. Byleth is a bad DLC character because Byleth is real middle of the road, and that's not great when you got to pay $5.99 or whatever. There's a lot of people being like, it's too early to. It's not too early to say. Unless Byleth gets buffed, Byleth will be middle of the pack, and you might as well suck when you're middle of the pack in a game with 80 characters.
Yep.
True. Well, let's get into it. We've got some comments from the vidya. Real R6 Rider said, hey, bro, just seen you smash Bob on Ultimate. What's your Twitch handle?
It's fanatixfour. I think he found it. But I wanted to talk about this freaking Captain Falcon ditto that I had with Bob. So me and Bob, well, this starts actually with Falcon, the person that watches our videos. He was, me and him were playing. I was like, I want to try Captain Falcon because I've never done it. Never played Captain Falcon. So I was playing him, and I'm like, this character is stupid. Like, this character is kind of busted. And, like, he's not busted because he does have, like, distinct flaws. But if you're in advantage, which if you're winning, if you're the one comboing the other person and they're not hitting you, he feels busted. And I was like,
like in his benefit way?
Yeah, like you never heard like in a fight game people be like, this character's broken. Like he feels like that when you're in an advantage state. As long as you don't press side B, everything's fine. And it doesn't work. So I was like, I'm gonna fight Bob. I was like, I'm gonna fight Bob because Bob is only good at Captain Falcon, and I want to see if I can beat his Captain Falcon. I think that would be definitive proof of like, okay, I know there's not a whole lot of doubt at this point, but let's
just to really hammer home that I am better than Bob.
Just to let him know in his heart, because I think he has his brief moments where he's like, yeah, we're on par, and I'm like, nah, man. Like he has his moments.
Oh, was that the last penny of your lunch money? Oh, sure, I'll take that too.
Exactly, I'll take that.
Hand that over.
And make sure tomorrow it's not ham and cheese. I don't like that. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm playing with Falcon Ditto, and I tweeted him. I was like, I formally challenge you to a Falcon duel or wherever, right? And then he was like, anytime, buddy, because, he's like, I'm the Captain Falcon or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So then he was streaming Smash Brothers, and I went in his chat, and I was like, Falcon Ditto? He was like, oh, you were serious? He was like, get in here, blah, blah. He was like, and then, like, right before we actually started, he was like, I'm going to be very upset if I don't destroy you. Famous last words. So first match was a 2-stop, and I was like, Second match was closer. He SD'd on his last life, and he just got 2-0. I was like, rip. It was a rip. So now I'm the Captain Falcon of the Wolfdan community.
You take everything for Bob. He's going to have nothing left.
Yeah, like you're the Mario guy.
I took his Mario guy.
I'm now the Captain Falcon, so Bob is just going to exist, He's going to be the cats of Wolfdan.
I was going to say, watch him turn around and, like, take Doom from me.
Yeah. See, and the thing is, like, I tried to redeem him, even though, like, at the same time, it wasn't going to happen. I tried to be like, hey, let's do Pokemon Trainer Dittos. Because if he beats me with my main, then that's a whole, like, that's a Uno reverse card. Right? That's a right? Like, that's a mirror force. But, like, he didn't want to do it. So, like, all right. So,
that was your chance, Bob.
I'm now the best Captain Falcon in the Wolfdan community. Confirmed.
I thought you were going to say in the world, and I was like, that's...
Oh, no.
That's bold.
I can't say that after beating Bob. Are you kidding me? I mean, see, my ulterior motive with this wasn't to be like, I'm better than Bob. It was to teach him that Falcon has more moves. He can press the A button, it turns out. And
what's an A button?
Exactly.
My Smash lifestyle would not know of any such thing.
But yeah,
indeed, good stuff. Next comment's from Jordan DeBest, who says, I know it's kind of messed up to think this way, but as a Smash fan who isn't into competitive, I honestly care more about how unique the characters are than how they play. My favorite is Piranha Plant because it seems so silly and inspired as a choice. My other faves are Joker and Banjo because I just think they're cool and unique. Terry and Hero were characters I'll can't really say anything about them. Byleth, on the other hand, is just way too vanilla of a choice in my opinion, and I'm a Three Houses fan. There's so many better unique characters in the game like Claude or Edelgard, but they just went for the most boring choice. I know Byleth doesn't play anything like Marth or the other Emblem characters, but it doesn't help how aesthetically similar the characters look compared to Marth. It's still another blue-haired swordsman, even if Byleth does have other weapons. In my opinion, as much as I love Sakurai and Smash, I think Byleth doesn't really represent Three Houses as much as the other house leaders do. Obviously, Smash drives people to try other series out, and it's going to get more people to try Fire Emblem. But I feel like more people would want to try it out if they had chosen a more unique representation for Fire Emblem than just a blue-haired animal character with a sword. As much as people love Smash as a competitive, I kind of see it as an advertisement also.
I think that it's mostly an advertisement as far as the DLC characters go. I think that your opinion on the characters, ironically, other than Piranha Plant, is pretty well aligned with what competitive players feel like in terms of like where those characters lie and like what was more worth it and stuff like that. I think that if you look at any of these characters from a top-down view, none of them are really unique as far as like the DLC, except for maybe Hero, because like Banjo is basically like Charizard fused with Ivysaur, and he has like some Yoshi stuff with his projectiles. Joker is Sheik, but with a buff once Sheik gets Arsene. Terry is like, like the Street Fighter characters. And then like Piranha Plant has a lot of like PT stuff too. He's just like a heavy, but he has DDD's wall. What is freaking? They're Waldos, right? What are they called? The spiked ball things. He has those.
We call them spiked ball things.
Spiked ball dudes.
Right. He has those, but his go diagonal instead of straight. So it's like you could if you look at it like that, there's similarities with all of the new characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you really, really break down the moves. Like Me, I don't like.
I mean,
for you, yeah,
it
but for me,
depends.
it feels unique.
I think that when those moves are the moves that are just being used, like if the same way you play Piranha Plant is the same way people play DDD, how unique is the character really? Like I could see if it was like, well, the back air is kind of the same. You never use back air. That's one thing. But when the main strategy is the same as another character, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. But yeah, I think as far as like aesthetically, there's a lot of uniqueness and stuff like that, and that separates the argument with Piranha Plant and stuff like that. I think that it would have been tough to do like Edelgard or like Claude like as those characters, because like Claude probably would have just straight up been worse than Byla, because Claude just does arrow stuff.
I think a switching character still would have been my choice.
If they would have did switching, that would have
been cool. The three house leaders just switch between the three of them.
Right. Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
I just don't know how they would do that. Like, in game, like
like lore wise or whatever.
Yeah, because Pokemon Trainer has like a built-in like there's Pokeballs. You go back in yours and you come out of yours. You know. But Fire Emblem doesn't really have. Like
they probably thought about it and they were like, it wouldn't really make sense if suddenly I turned around and was like, now I'm Claude.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, maybe that's why they didn't do it like that.
Yeah, it's because, like one of the things.
I agree with like Byleth not really being a stand-in. Like Byleth, like Ian said a while ago, is an avatar. It's not a character.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I definitely feel that like if you were to do one of the other house leaders, then there would be like this sort of pressure that you should put all of them in. So it's either like you put in one or you put in three, and it's kind of that's a tough choice to make.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, none of them is. I mean, obviously Claude is the main one, but none of them is really the main one. But no, I mean, it just totally depends on who you're playing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, they could have probably did like, even though I think Edelgard probably would have won that, just because there's multiple reasons to go her route. They could have did like, this is the most popular route or whatever, right? And use that house leader. But again, I think like it's unfair. It's weighed heavily in Edelgard's favor because there's two reasons to play through her route.
Yeah, totally. 100% her route that you always play through, that I've totally done. The 6 or 7 times that I have done that thing you've said.
Right.
Exactly. I am Celeste says, I usually main Samus and or Simon, but from the DLC, I really like
those. No,
but from the DLC, I really like Terry, and he could easily replace Simon for me as my switch up. Joker comes in a close second, followed by Banjo at third. The rest are a toss up for me because I either haven't played much of them or simply just think they're boring. Overall, I'd say this DLC pack 1 was pretty good. Can't wait for the next bunch. I'm still hoping a Killer Instinct character can make it, since Nintendo and Microsoft are playing nice now. But it's great that this game offers so many options.
Yeah, man. I agree. I like the first DLC pack, even though like the only character that I was like, I want this character, and that made it in was Banjo. And I don't even play him like that. He's just like, he's when I feel like being cancerous, when I just feel like making people real mad. And I'm like, all right, here's Banjo. I'm just going to spam Wonder Wing. Have fun.
How much stronger is Wonder Wing than Flare Blitz?
Significantly. Okay. Because Flare Blitz is garbage. First of all, the hitbox of Wonder Wing is huge.
True.
Like gigantic, and it lasts so much longer. Also, it goes through shields. All Flare Blitz does, if you shield, is it hits up against your shield, you take 12 damage, and then you get punished. Because Charizard just lays there for 3 seconds, which is an exaggeration. I don't know exactly how long.
Right.
Whereas Banjo, like, you have to really be on it if you whiff Wonder Wing. If somebody shields, they have to stop shielding, turn around, and grab you to punish that move. Whereas Charizard, you just got to shield.
I've got to play the DLC characters for the first time last Friday, right after the podcast. We were playing, it was me, Mitch, Nate, and Nate's daughter was also playing, which meant we were playing items on random. It was an interesting time. We played time, items on random maps and stuff, and I just was like, I'm just going to try out the new characters. So it went a number of different ways, different times, and was just very chaotic. We were on the Mario level that one time. that has all the coins everywhere.
Oh yeah,
That was the first
Mario Bros.
I didn't know anything what was happening. Like, I couldn't keep track of anything. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Joker, I think, was the big one for me that came out, because not only did he become like my second main, it also got me to play Persona 5 after that. So
make him your first main.
I should probably make him my first main, but I just really like Link.
He should probably be your first main.
But
also,
as far as
Young Link is also a good option.
I tried Young Link and it didn't work with how I played.
But like,
I prefer Young Link.
You gotta get good. That's why I'm trying to help.
Oh well, that's what we're okay. This Sunday I'm playing Smash. Do you want to help?
Yeah, of course.
Great,
I do.
Cool. But as far as DLC Pack 1 goes, 0 out of 10, no Gino. Okay.
Well,
indeed,
he's not going to like Pack 2.
Next up, Cake says best to worst DLC characters all around.
And then he lists them. He lists them.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't know that was part of the same thing. Hero, Terry, Joker, coin flip between Byleth and Banjo. Oh, okay, that's it. That's Hero, Terry, Joker, coin flip between Byleth and Banjo.
That's interesting. Yeah. I think that people overrate Hero because Hero in a vacuum isn't that great. Hero's really good if you have good luck. But outside of that, like if you play around his bubble outside of the good luck, because then his bubble is all over the place. You don't really know what his bubble is. Yep. But if you're like, okay, well, they're going to dash attack or they're going to keep like freaking forward airing or whatever, right? He's easy to get around. Like,
also possible that they're saying
destroys this man.
It's possible that they're saying best to worst subjectively also, and not like quality wise. Because like I'd probably like rate stuff fairly backwards from what you would just as far as like I liked playing Hero when I got to try him out because it was like, who even knows? It's just a fun old time,
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not saying Hero's bad.
No,
I just don't think he's the best. I think he's probably second or third.
Indeed. And then the last comment is Précieux Calomba said they started with the best and ended with the worst. LOL, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
And there it is.
Except for the whole subjective thing. I like Banjo.
Yeah, but it's true.
Joker's just the best one.
Yep. Any last thoughts, AJ, Dan, on that video?
Byleth is garbage. I'm the Captain Falcon of the Wolfdan community.
Needs more Gino. All right, ready.
Yeah, so much more Gino. Cool. Well, and then here's so my video was about the Wonderful 101 Kickstarter and what that could mean for gaming. So we specifically didn't talk about the Wonderful 101 very much this week.
Yeah, no, it doesn't exist until
good reasons, and you'll know why next week. But we are going to talk about your comments because that's the thing that we do. So I did ask, what is a franchise that you get that comment people would pay more than $100 for in a Kickstarter if they did a Kickstarter of one? Shadow Wolf Rising said a Suikoden collection. Yeah,
that's a PlayStation thing.
I don't know what that is, but
that's a PlayStation thing.
But didn't they do that? Isn't that the collection of mana or whatever the heck it is?
That's Seiken Densetsu. Is that the same thing? Maybe I've just never seen it written.
I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Sure, that's not the same thing.
I'm looking it up.
Oh no, there's. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I'm completely holy wrong. That is my mistake. I will excuse myself. Goodbye.
I did think the same thing though for a second. I was like, am I pronouncing it really wrong? And I actually know what this is, but I don't think I do.
Yeah, there's 6 of them.
Oh, weren't you a PlayStation kid?
Me?
I was an
No, not you.
Oh.
You, with your face and your...
How do I know what freaking Suikoden is and you don't?
Oh, it's Suicune. It's the Pokemon. He spelled it wrong.
Oh, okay, great.
It's just a collection of a bunch of Suicunes.
just a bunch of Suicunes.
Just a bunch of models.
Yeah. Okay, here's a tangent because that's us.
What we do here.
I don't think I've told this on the podcast before, but maybe I have.
Maybe.
But here we go. It's a fun story for 100 episodes. I don't have 100 episodes, but
more than half of them. You got like 60 or something.
Yeah.
Say it. Just say it.
I'm gonna say.
Don't tell Parker what to do. Okay,
say the words.
I got Pokemon Crystal back in the day, when it came out. And I got it the day after it came out at the store, which I was like,
dude, all the news.
Here's the thing. I like only kind of realized and recognized this like a couple of years ago or last year or this year or something, like fairly recently, that like I was really proud of the fact that like, yeah, I got it like the second day it came out. Like that was so early. I was so proud of that for a long time. Like I was some like, wow, like
you got the game
early adopter or something.
I'm so good.
See, you know how you make
and then now I'm like, wait a minute, like
you know how
you buy games at launch all the time.
You know how younger Parker will just be. You know how people are like, what did you think you were going to do when you get older, or whatever? And would like child you be proud or whatever? All you gotta do is be like, dude, I get games like free now.
On the day they come out.
And also sometimes before, dude.
Is so true.
I have a physical version of the game that like 1% of people that own the game have. And I got that for free too. That's all you got to do. True. To young Parker to make it.
Little
like,
Parker don't even know.
Yeah, little Parker don't even.
But yeah, that was a fun realization of mine of like, wow, I shouldn't have been as proud of that as I was, but I certainly was. So I'm not going to take it away from myself.
You already
continuing on. I mean, yeah. But from little self, you know. Shadow Wolf Rising also said Xenosaga Trilogy HD Remaster. Falcon said F-Zero. Go figure.
Yep.
Sam Diaz said Okami. Yep.
They're already making a second one, aren't they?
I
think it's...
Yeah, I think that was like rumored or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's like officially announced. Yeah, definitely look it up though, because
I'll look it up. You keep doing the thing.
Oakley Dokes. And then Jeffrey,
on a podcast, 27 weeks ago or something.
27 weeks ago,
probably longer than that. I don't even know.
Jeffrey McHugh said, "Give Dead Space to Sega so that the people who made Alien Isolation can give us a new Dead Space for Switch. I would give $100 for that. I know, not likely, but a guy can dream." So those are the things that you guys wanted. Fun times. But yeah, let's get into comments.
We should answer that.
Sure.
What would you give $100 for other than freaking Super Mario RPG 2 or whatever?
Super Mario RPG 2. I don't get what's the confusion. Just so we're aware, Okami 2 is happening. They're working on it now. It's an early development. I remember now they did a Twitter post where they announced it.
Cool. I remember we talked about it, but I don't remember what the...
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was rumor or fact, so good to know.
What would I... come to me last. I need to think about this. $100.
Okay, so yeah, AJ, if there was a Kickstarter for a game, or what would be a game that you would spend more than $100 on a Kickstarter tier for?
Okay, so this has to be a game that like couldn't exist otherwise.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sure.
Because I mean...
Or at least isn't existing otherwise.
Because if it was like a thing, I would say like the Pokemon game, like a Pokemon game that has all the stuff that I want, you know? Yeah. I'd spend a good $200 on that.
If it was Pokemon AJ's edition.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you. And I told, this was unrelated, but I was talking to Logan about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and I was like, yo, if Bandai Namco just wants to give me like 5% of the sales, I will tell them how to make the perfect Dragon Ball Z RPG, like the perfect one, dude, the perfect one. Everybody would love it. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you will love it. If you're an RPG fan, you will love it, dude. But that's a whole nother thing. That's a separate video, in fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd have to be one that you wouldn't really see happening without a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Something that wouldn't be possible.
I mean, I said Golden Sun in my video, so, you know.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, that's me of little faith.
To not be possible. That's possible to not happen. I don't know, freaking Mario Luigi, Dream Team or whatever. Like a new, not Dream Team specifically, but that series.
Without a bat of an eye, you spend more than $100 on that?
Yes. Because those games are cool. And also, like, Paper Mario is probably never going to be, like, a good Paper Mario anymore. So, that was good Paper Mario, and now it's dead, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I give them over $100 or something.
I think just off the top of my head, if they were to do a revival of Wonder Boy, I'd probably throw in $100.
Didn't they already do that?
They did a remake of the third one. Which I love very much. I
thought you were being sarcastic. Like, if they were to do it, I totally didn't 2 years ago spend $400 on it.
No, what?
I still haven't played that game for the record.
Me neither.
Oh, you should. It's good.
I know.
Yeah, but everybody's still trying to
get
get me to play freaking, what is that game called?
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, that game.
Oh, right.
missing
Well,
out.
you should play that one too.
Everybody's telling me to play everything, and I
Yeah.
can't. I can't play everything. There's a lot of Smash Brothers.
You can play more than you are though, because it's
You can really expend. Like,
I mean,
it's
that's
out.
true.
coming from me, but still.
That's true, but like the question is, do I want to?
It is the question.
That's the question. Like a game got to be real good. Like I still need to finish freaking Luigi's Mansion.
Me too.
Same. I think I did the first 2 floors, and I was like, "This is great." Oh, hey, Pokemon.
Oh, I got further than that. I'm on like the 9th floor or something.
Yeah, I think I'm on 11, maybe.
Yeah. Rip, dude.
Something like that. Yep. I'm waiting to play it with Ashley at this point, but I think she's kind of over it, maybe. But at the same time, I think I would have to be like, here's the thing. Are you going to play it with me? Yes or no? And if not, I'm going to play it. But if so, I would be very happy to wait as long as you want. Because there's sometimes like that with like, are you going to eat these leftovers? Because if not, they're going to go bad. And I want to have eaten them prior to that.
Yeah, I get that. I get that too much.
I can see it in your eyes.
Just the blank stare of, oh, God.
Oh, man. But yeah, comments. Here we go. Jay said, It's dumb Platinum had to go to Kickstarter, but I respect them for what they're doing. Nintendo is messing this up bad, in my opinion, especially when other companies are putting their games on Switch from other consoles.
I don't know. Because, again, this
didn't perform very well when it was on the Wii U, did it?
No, it did not.
And
I just don't know what the situation is with this, right? Because it could very much be a situation of like, because they're getting like investment from Tencent, right? So like, it could be a thing of like, well, if you guys hit this mark, we'll invest this much money. Kind of like what Shenmue was, right? And like, I doubt that it cost $50,000 from Nintendo. Like, if Nintendo were to fund this game, it would not cost them $50,000 to port, promote, and do all that stuff with this game. And I think that was the part that they weren't willing to do. So they're just like, you could take it other places though.
So I've thought a lot about this since the thing, and my honest thoughts of like how I think that it probably went was that I think the Tencent thing is probably more like a cash loan than it is. I mean, it's an investment, obviously. So like that's more of what that is, as opposed to them like outright publishing a specific game. So like they would have to make that
definitely not publishing this game. I think they're giving them capital to publish it themselves. Yeah.
And then and essentially by doing the Kickstarter, they're doing pre-orders and getting money for reimbursing the loan, more or less. Like something along those lines. Probably not exactly that, but like within that vein of ballpark things. And then on the other side with Nintendo, I suspect the conversation went about like Nintendo owns half the game or something like that. Like they co-own it, so that they went to Nintendo and Nintendo said, either you do it. Well, this is from the interviews. Either you do it here and we publish it, or sure, you can go other places, because it sounds like that was what they wanted to do, is we want to self-publish and go other places. And then at that point, sure, you can self-publish it and go other places, but you can't get somebody else to come in and publish it, because we own it. So Nintendo's probably still, I would guess, maybe, unless Platinum bought the IP from Nintendo, I'd bet they're still going to get residuals off of it. They just won't have anything.
I could see them like maybe publishing it on Switch, possibly. They also, like, since they own half of the IP, they'll make money off of it. But yeah, I don't think
in the same way that Sega made money off on Bayonetta.
Like Bayonetta, yeah, exactly. I don't think that this was a thing of Nintendo being like, no, we don't want to give you $50,000.
Right? Yeah. I think the thing that I thought was interesting from this comment too was saying that Nintendo's messing this up as far as bringing their old games to Switch. I think what it is like Nintendo is obviously still bringing out lots and lots of games to the Switch, and I agree that I would like them to bring their retro catalog faster, but I think they're just like pacing things the way that they want to do it, which is like not the way that I'd like them to do it, but it's still like they're doing it a specific way, as opposed to some other developers and publishers or whatever that just straight up aren't. So like we know,
I think that they're trying to balance mind share. That's the long and short of it. It's like we want you to care about these old games as much as you care about the new games. We have too many new games to balance the two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's more about that than it is with them being like, we don't want to put this game out. You know what? Yeah. We don't want to. You know, like I think that.
Yeah. Well, and you also got to think about like, you know, money plays into all of this stuff too. Like, because if something didn't, I mean, they've kind of shown that if something didn't perform well on the Wii U, they could bring it to Switch and bring new life to it. But at the same time, it's a risk every single time. It's like, this didn't perform well. If we bring it to the Switch, we better hope it performs well.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure that Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharpie Encore, hashtag Double Fine, Triple XL performed I mean, I'm sure it performed better or will have performed better on the Switch than on the Wii U. But maybe not by much. I think
that's probably like the outlier, the Tokyo. Because what I was going to say, I forgot that that game existed. I was going to say that most of the games that they did take from Wii U and move to Switch, they sold relatively well.
I'm curious
they didn't sell really well for Nintendo. You know, like a Donkey Kong game selling 3 million units or whatever is not great, but it's pretty good. You know, like if Platinum sold 3 million copies of Wonderful 101, they will scream it from the rooftops. But for Nintendo, it's like, we could have got 8. We could have got 8, but we didn't, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, again, if you walk away with a decent profit off of that release, like, you only sell 3 million, but like if the cost of porting over Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze was cheap, then like, you walk away with a good amount of money in your hands.
Right. And I think that in this case is less about, because like they could make money off of this, right? No problem. But it's the relative amount of money. It's like, okay, you guys want to launch in April. Do we want to make this our April game? How much more money could we make if we launch something else in April and put our attention behind that? You know?
No, I think that's definitely true. Because I think Nintendo cares now more than ever probably about pacing things out, as we're seeing with the retro games on NSO and all that stuff. Where like, I think GameCube games are going to come to Switch. I think they're going to come in like 2022 or 2023, but they're probably going to show up eventually.
Reggie promised us GameCube games on Wii U, and we still don't have it, man.
True. Maybe
what's up with that? Maybe him following me and Dan on Twitter was his apology.
Which I appreciate.
I'm jealous.
I accept the apology.
Comment from Grimhane, who should sound familiar to some people here.
Who's that? No.
I don't know who Grimhane is at all.
He said, Parker looking fresh. I got a haircut. Thanks, man. I agree that this was a good move and that it's not a bad thing overall. Small developers take huge risks. Just in the last year, we've seen studios shut down despite having produced popular games. And it's not like Platinum Games is holding a gun to our heads and saying, give us money for this game or else. Rather, they're saying, hey, we want to give you the thing you want, but we need your help to do that. They set a very modest goal.
Why have different voices?
Because one's a bad person voice and the other's a good person voice.
One's a bad Platinum Games, one's a good Platinum
But they're the same person.
Dan gets it.
They're
AJ,
the same person.
You don't get it.
Goku Black has the same voice actor as regular Goku.
No, but he sounds meaner.
Moving along.
Stupid character. Continue.
I don't even know what that is. I don't know much.
It's a long story. It's stupid. It's dumb. Don't worry about
Anyone interested can see Platinum Games have done before. They've made great games before, but have been at the
I'm just going to let him read this.
I don't want to.
But have been at the mercy of whoever published those games. Unlike Rockstar or EA, who I could totally see trying to do this because EA have become scummy, who have the capital to support taking a risk and properly porting one of their games to a system, which is already crushing the Xbox and has its sights set on the PS4 globally, having already surpassed it in Japan rather handily. And obviously fans have heard Platinum Games call the Kickstarter is at the time of this comment at $1.4 million and is still climbing. Though it's not certainly slowed down now, and that's 28 times over the primary goal.
Yeah. 50. When I heard 50,000, I was like, all right. All right. Okay.
Yeah. That's just for the clout, honestly.
Yeah, like just so they can be like, we're 50 times over our goal or whatever, right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, we're definitely going to hit 50K. Like 50K was nothing.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they did mention in their interview too. They were like, if we don't hit our initial goal,
we don't even we're closing the company, dude.
Yeah, which I would fully agree. But yep. No, I'm totally with you. I think, I mean, that was the whole point for this video. It was, I mean, pretty much what Grimhain just said was that it's hard for small companies to take risks, and but risks are oftentimes where the best ideas are. So like, if there's a way for people to buy into it proportionally more than they're able to, where like, again, if I could put $100 to Golden Sun as opposed to the $60 it would be or something like that, then if there are a lot more people like me who would be willing to put more money towards something, then it could become a reality in a different way than them just making it and hoping people all buy it. And
well, side note, I thought that you were going to be like, you could be on the video. You could become a member here. I thought
it was a subtle thing. I didn't want to be super heavy handed, but yes, that was there.
It was kind of, you just didn't go all the way. I was like,
correct.
All right.
I do think it's one of the things too, is like, there's one thing going like, this is a risk because we don't know versus like, this is a risk and we have numbers of how it happened before. And like, that's a whole nother, that's like, it's even riskier at that point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like you're already freaking $400,000 in the hole. You want us to invest more? You know?
Yeah. It's one of the things that like, okay, this is risky because we've already taken that risk and we know that was risky. So this is like double the risk of the riskiness that we just risked.
Yeah.
And
very risky.
Arguably with other companies is even worse, right? Because they don't even know the whole of the risk. All they know is that the game didn't succeed, clearly. So they're like, hey, give us money. But what happened with the Nintendo thing? Oh, don't worry about that. Didn't work out.
Don't worry about it.
Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least at least we know what we're getting as opposed to a Mighty Number 9 situation.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh man, this looks like it's gonna be great. Oh, it wasn't? Okay.
I think the biggest favor they did to themselves is not only the fact that this is already a game that's like, it has like critical acclaim and it has like what is it?
Cult following?
It's a cult following. My brain was saying clout, and I was like, that's not it.
Clout following.
But yeah, like it already has that, so we know that the game's good. But also the fact that this game is coming out in like 2 months on the Switch is like, well,
right.
Duh. It's basically just pre-ordering a game that exists already.
Yeah, it's pre-ordering a game and merch if you want that.
Yeah.
Which is, and for cheaper. That's the fact that this is cheaper also. Like, if Nintendo put this out, it would just be $60 again.
Right.
So the fact that it's $36 for, a digital copy or whatever, like, that's nice.
And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is $60 again when it actually comes out.
Could be.
Sure.
That would be good to know ahead of time because I think it's going to be, it's
definitely going to be cheaper to backer. So, like, if you want to play this game, get it now. I got it. And I don't even know if I want to play because I have this game on Wii U. But I mean, I'll probably play it for a video or something.
I bet you. I mean, if anything, I don't know if depending on how successful the Kickstarter continues to be, I think that's more of a like maybe they'll do $40. So like you're getting like $4 off. That makes the most sense to me. But also, I know that $60 gives you more money.
Is Shenmue $60?
Yeah, but that's like a full. I don't know if it is, but that's like a full new game. This isn't like a port of an old game.
Yeah, but when 200,000 people play a game, it's a new game. Like the bulk of the people.
But I mean, as far as developing it,
it's
but
$50.
They don't price games like that.
Shenmue 3 is $50.
Gotcha.
Okay, but
I think Platinum's going to want to have all the goodwill they can, so that's why I feel like probably they would keep it lower, but maybe not. But I mean, that would be something good to know now, because otherwise, like that could maybe come across. I don't know. That could be a little bit of bad PR of like, oh, they did it, but like, oh, now it's come out at $60. What? Like, I don't think it would be a really big deal, but it would be a thing that was talked about.
Even if it's $60, that would make them look better to the Kickstarters because
Right.
I paid $35 or whatever, $38 because I got the digital copy. If it's $60, then getting it.
I think it would look better to the
looks
people
great.
that already did get into the Kickstarter. And that's why I think they should say ahead of time, like, it's cheaper now than it's going to be, which I mean, like, you can surmise would be the case, but without knowing for sure, if they said it's cheaper now than it's going to be later and you should get in now, then people would be incentivized to get it now. Whereas later, like, because I
just don't know if there's been a Kickstarter, especially with games that the thing is at cost.
Right. I mean,
like,
but $25 difference is more than, you know.
Sometimes they're like early bird pricing or whatever. Right? Like they separate it even further, where they're like, okay, this is an $80 product, but you can get it for $70. Yeah. And then if you don't get in on that first like limited batch, then it's $80. And then when it comes out, it's $85. You know.
I guess I just feel like they might be shooting themselves in the foot for the regular fan base, or not fan, but like, you know, the regular Switch owners and all that kind of stuff down the road, if it ends up being more money, if those same people knew that they could have gotten it on the Kickstarter, because then at that point it would be just like, I should have gotten it before, I'm not going to pay more money, whatever. But I don't know.
I think you got to do 40 because if we're thinking in the long haul, anyone that wants it, this cult following we're talking about, this fan base,
if they do 40, I think if they do 40, that's a terrible idea. Because that's more expensive.
Then
$40 is cheaper than the Kickstarter is.
No, it's not 30. It's 36 for the digital copy.
Yeah, exactly.
36.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Then you put it at 50, but you can't do the full 60 because your fan base has already paid for their games, and if you want more people to get this game, you're not going to sell it for $60. I just don't think you will,
or at least not to as broad of an audience. Like
you're not. Yeah.
Saving the $10 on the price, I think, would just get whatever that percentage is would get made up for in number of people buying into it.
Yeah, because remember, the development's mostly done. It's all about porting now, which is
but the random people that are buying this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's at 50, but I think that reasoning doesn't really make sense for Joe Schmo that's just looking at this game like at GameStop.
But it would make sense I think there's a lot more people
randomly learning about Wonderful 101 at GameStop. Or those are not the people that's like, well, this game only took 4 months to port, and but like they're not thinking about that. They're like, new game. I hear a lot of people are talking about it now. Game is game. It's $60. I'll buy it for $60. Because people use that same reasoning with Link's Awakening, right? Like, this game's old. It's a Game Boy game. So, like, it's less money to develop than Breath of the Wild was, but it's the same price as Breath of the Wild 4 million copies later. You know? So, like, I don't know. I think
so, but I think it would matter for, I'm looking up to see, like, what a YouTube video is. I think there are probably more people, like, that are in my camp where it's like, I don't really feel like I would kickstart it if it were like struggling to meet its goal, and then to like get over the edge.
I think there's more people than that don't even know that the Kickstarter existed. And those are the people that buying the game at retail is going to matter to Platinum for.
True. Okay. Then what you do is you start with 60 and you drop the price after like a year.
Just do sales.
Yeah,
or drop the price.
Yeah, because I think either one is reasonable, but I don't think that is like gospel or whatever, right? Like, it's not a thing of like, well, this was kickstarted and it was ported, so that means that it has to be 40 or 50 or whatever. I think that they very well could have a successful launch of this game if they launched it at 60, because for most people, it's a brand new game.
Yeah, and I mean, this is also coming, like, they're doing a Steam version, they're doing a PS4 version, no Xbox. So
which is weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't know. Whatever. I don't know.
Whatever, indeed. Last comment from this video is David Figueroa said, big companies might abuse Kickstarter. LOL. Imagine Activision kickstarting a new Crash game. Ha 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 ha.
I don't think that they would really be able to do that. Like, they could probably do...
If they did, that would be bad.
They would be able to save some money, but... even with like games like Shenmue, right, where it's like the goal was like what, $3 million or something like that. I think it was even less than that. A new Crash Bandicoot game is not going to cost $3 million. You're looking at like 20. So you're not going to be able to kickstart $20 million for a game like Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
So I don't know if they, like, maybe it'll do something like what Double Fine did for a while, where it's to partially fund the game. I could see them doing that.
I think. I mean, I could see. I'd like to see more mid-tier developers do stuff along these lines. Like that would be cool.
Yeah.
I could see some that are like we're not going to see an EA or like any companies that like have, I don't know. I was going to say board chairs and that kind of stuff. Like probably
for a game, like a initial goal is like what, $3 million. Mm-hmm. And Activision and EA aren't making $3 million games,
right? Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and on top of it, you got to keep like there needs to be a team put together to fulfill rewards, to run the Kickstarter. Like it costs money and time to do a Kickstarter. It's not a passive thing. You just kind of like.
And the $3 million is.
I wouldn't even be surprised if the $50,000 for Wonderful 101 was just for fulfillment. Like I would not be surprised even a little.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, because lots of. I mean, making keychains and T-shirts and jackets and all that kind of stuff. Like those are products that you need to also make. It's not like it's all going to development costs and stuff. So
yeah, and
interesting things.
You have to hire people to run the Kickstarter.
Yeah, right.
Like you can't. You like maybe you can get lucky and hire an intern that might know what they're doing, but like you need someone that knows how to design, how to where to post these things, schedule interviews, all this like other like behind the scenes stuff you don't think about when you start the Kickstarter.
And if you're looking for all of that, call Dan. He'll do all of it for you.
No, do not contact me.
Never call me.
Never call me. Don't DM me. I'll block you.
What can I call you though?
So Dan,
can I call you Dan?
You want to help us start our Kickstarter?
Yeah, sure. Send me a DM.
Good stuff. All right, that's it from the videos. We're on to the last segment, which is Q&A. There you go, guys. It's time for the 100th Q&A that's ever existed.
Yep.
Here we go. Some comments and questions. First from YouTube community, people said some things. Sam Diaz says, congrats. I've been listening since the very first episode. Nice. Congrats on the 100 episodes. So good job, y'all. MeTube said, congratulations. Dope channel.
Thanks.
Nice. Next up, actual question. F-Zero Kid Falcon said, when is Parker coming to visit? I want to meet him. P.S. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Falcon.
PAX, I guess. Come to PAX.
True. If you're at PAX, I will be be there. You're at PAX. Yeah, I don't know where you guys are on your AJ's screen. Like I'm pointing over here and like I'm on that side.
I think actually no, it's going to be different. Well, where are you at on your screen? You're on the bottom of my screen.
I have everybody like this.
Yeah,
and I'm in the middle.
Yeah, it's.
I try to keep it higher up so that I'm like kind of looking right towards the camera when I'm.
So am I pointing at you? Am I pointing at?
Yeah, that's
me. Am I pointing at?
Well, me and then
you're pointing
AJ past that.
You're pointing off screen for me.
Okay, so if I point like this,
now you're pointing at me. Now you're pointing at Parker.
Yeah, you two. You two guys. Yeah, okay.
Wait, we should all do that and then take a screenshot and then best friends forever.
I will never do
I'll put it on my wall.
Yes.
Put it on the wall. Screenshot. Put it on my wall.
But yeah,
just
come to
take
PAX.
a picture at PAX.
Indeed.
Oh, and then I'll put it on my wall.
Remember when Facebook walls are a thing? Is that still what it's called?
I don't know, dude. I don't Facebook.
I looked at Facebook yesterday, saw that I had a bunch of friend requests, and like said yes to a couple, and then went, cool, I'll see you guys in about 6 months.
Yep. See, the thing is, like, I've seen Parker through the fanatixfour Facebook. I've seen his Facebook. I've seen your Facebook, but I'm like, why would I don't use Facebook. I already talked to you guys on other platforms. So what is the point?
Yeah. Also, what's the point of, just be real, of high school reunions nowadays? Where like it used to be, the point was like, let's go and see who's doing great and
this
who's doing
person
not so great or whatever.
Entirely different.
But now, like, you can just Facebook stalk them
losing limbs,
and you're losing limbs.
Yeah, like you wouldn't even know in the freaking 1987. True. But now you posted on Facebook when the shark bit your arm off. So like I already know.
You know?
I skipped mine and I saw pictures of like the event they did, and I was like, I'm so glad I missed that.
See, I'm not even like old enough. Yeah.
My 10-year reunion.
My 5 years. I passed that.
Yep. My 10 years this coming year. So I mean, this June would be the 10-year reunion. But it's all the way in Belgium, and I'm not going to go all the way to Belgium to see high school friends that like I was I'm kind of one of those guys that like in high school, I had 2 friends or like 3 friends that was like, that's my friends. And we're really close. And then everybody else I was like, passively friends with, where like I'd go to some events of theirs and stuff like that, but like wasn't really in like a friend group or whatever. So I was like friends with everybody, but best friends with a couple people. So all that to say that like,
I don't care about you people enough.
Yeah.
not for a plane ticket.
Yeah, no, the thing is it's like everyone, like when I went back and saw like some of my high school friends like 10 years later, they all had families and they're all talking about like what their kids are doing and like daycare and all this stuff. There was a literal 10-minute conversation about a diaper bag. I kid you not, 10 minutes of conversation. I'm like, oh, I'm just working in the forefront, biggest growing industry ever. But yeah,
let's talk about a diaper bag.
Poop containers.
Oh, that's good.
That's the thing. I don't like talking.
Huge
about
poop this morning.
I don't like talking about YouTube because then it inevitably leads to, oh, how you started? Can you help me start a YouTube channel? No, I don't want to. Leave me alone.
I always just look them dead in the eye and say, don't.
or pay me and then I'll teach you.
There you go. True. Next question comes from Crazy Derp, who asks, what was your favorite topic over the many podcasts? Also, congrats.
I like the ones where it's not like news related. It's just like the rank in the Galar region Pokemon and like our favorite Pokemon from all the generations, like those ones. What was that? The topic that we did, the choose the use it or lose
use it or lose it.
Yeah, like that whole thing. That was fun too.
We only did that once, but we'll bring it back sometime.
What the tier list of fruits and how
that was also
fundamentally wrong.
I was about to say I think fruits is high up there.
That was
theoretical pears.
Yeah,
we love theoretical pairs in this family. It's really what we live for.
So Dan, did you hear about what?
What happened? There was more to this.
No, I mean kinda. So I was like, what were we talking about? Peanut butter. When Ian from OK Peace was on, and we were talking about crunchy or smooth peanut butter, and I was like, crunchy peanut butter because crunchy peanut butter seems almost like more of a snack. And Parker was like, he was like, no, you're using that. I was like, no, but like it's different because like Parker said that it's more of a snack because it's like small and like you know like in that sense. But I meant like crunchy peanut butter is more similar.
Too late.
To like
coming back from this.
I mean, first of all, I explained that on the episode, but it's like more like a chocolate bar sort of situation is what I meant when I was like it's more like a snack sort of situation. So it's like man. The fruit thing spawned a lot.
Man, food is going to tear this channel apart.
No,
there's more coming up.
It's going to be another revenue stream, dude. We're making a food. I'm telling you. By the time,
food?
Yes.
Yeah,
by the time fanatixfour has 1 million subs, we're going to have a food channel. Guaranteed.
All right.
Guaranteed.
I'm down.
Mark my words.
I better theoretically be there for the theoretical food.
Yeah, absolutely. When you live in New York, dude.
I can legitimately say absolutely.
I don't.
That's the first time I've ever used that, and it'd been like in context.
That's great. That's your tagline.
How many times have you said that?
I say it a good bit, just kind of like here and there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now you know.
I've never heard it.
Oh, I guess not on the podcast necessarily. It's just like in regular life.
Okay, got it.
Hey, we got some more questions. I'll also say the first couple that I was on were fun, where we just for like 4 weeks talked about how like a direct just makes sense. And that was like the whole, it kept feeling like it was going to make sense. And then it just didn't happen.
And that's why we're at where we're at.
True.
I still feel like you still have that attitude where you're like, we definitely. Well, I'm more still like when it happens, it happens. I don't care at this point.
I don't care so much as for the fact that I just planning for it video wise and stuff like that, where like, because I don't like, I've got to work on Thursdays themselves, so I can't do my videos on Thursdays. So it's more like that kind of thing where I'm like, I don't want to be caught having a video that's like not flop. Very relevant. Yeah, exactly. So, but that said, questions from Discord. We got a lot of them. Here we go. Falcon asks, how long do you think is long enough for a company to support their game after release via updates, patches, and DLC?
Depends on what the game is.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's a multiplayer game that people are actively playing, especially if it's competitive, I think that they should support it up into the next game, honestly. On some level at least. Like, I don't know if they need to be like, for Smash Brothers case, I don't think they need to like release freaking Challenger Pack number 12 or DLC Fighters Pass number 12 or whatever, right? Like, I think maybe do like one more Fighters Pass after Fighters Pass 2, maybe, and then just leave it at that. And then, still patch the game for balance and that sort of thing.
That's you should always be like balance patches for competitive games. I would say for like a story-based game, you should be doing like at least a year or two.
Right.
At supporting with DLC and patches or whatever. But
Mario Party, even though it's not single player.
I mean, if it's multiplayer, it should be a multi-year thing. It should be minimum 2. You should be putting in time. But like, Kingdom Hearts had the one DLC and I'm good. That was enough for me.
Yep.
I still
I agree. Game. I still have never even played a Kingdom Hearts game. Long Chris asks, chili cheese tots or chili cheese fries? Hashtag Fanatics Foods.
Oh, okay.
So
there it is.
I didn't even know that chili cheese tots was a thing. So like, I guess by default, fries.
I would say chili cheese. I don't know that I've had chili cheese tots that many times, but like consistency wise, feels like chili cheese tots.
I've never had them, so I can't. I
mean, I've had tots, and like
that's true.
I've had other like pork braised, whatever, where it's like got a bunch of pulled pork with.
Yeah.
I don't know. Braised was what I was going to say. But,
okay. I thought you were saying braids. I was like, what the heck?
Pork braids, everybody.
I'm just saying, with when it's time to switch over to utensils because everything's breaking apart, the tots are going to be easier to eat than the fries.
Agreed.
Depends on what kind of fries it is, man. Get some waffle fries, dude.
Well, then that's a whole different thing. Then there's chili cheese tots, chili cheese fries, or chili cheese waffle fries. I would argue that waffle fries are on a different league than fries.
They're like halfway in between in a certain regard.
They're fries, dude.
I mean, they're definitely fries, but like you would, if somebody was like, hey, you want, I don't know how to.
No, you lost. It's
fries. No, I mean, they're definitely fries, but like they're fries with a qualifier, and like they're better than a lot of other fries.
But all fries have a qualifier.
True.
Like, I guess has like a different
like shoestring fries, curly fries. I think usually when you think chili cheese fries, you're thinking just like regular old fries.
You don't know
and the downside
when I think chili cheese fries,
I know exactly what you think. Most people would think
you think is wrong.
And those, I think, would like get soggier faster, but waffle fries would be less likely to get soggy faster. So I think those would also be up there with tots.
All I'm saying is if I'm given a choice, I'm going with fries and waffle fries at that. Because, like, I think that tater tots, compared to waffle fries, they have, like...
Man, I'm getting so hungry already.
I know. I haven't eaten today.
Me neither.
They have like a shorter.
Not healthy.
They have like a shorter life.
Intermittent fasting, man.
They're going to fall apart faster than waffle fries would.
I will say that if it is waffle fries compared to tots, I'll take the waffle fries because that's basically like a chip. It's got scoopability, man,
and it's basically super delicious.
Yeah.
So we're doing great. Mega Man asks, "Congratulations on your 100th episode of DTY. What's been your most memorable moments?"
The fruit.
I think we kind of covered that.
We did kind of cover them.
We did, man.
Honestly, fruit though, like for real, fruit. Like that. Those are the things that like stick out as like those were conversations that happened. Whereas like we didn't remember if Okami 2 was a thing or not a thing. You know, like
it's always the Q&A segment that brings the best.
It is.
Of the podcast, honestly.
It's a fun time. And then also mini pies or sausage rolls. I want to understand more context on this.
Like, are you talking like pigs in a blanket with like?
I think he's talking.
That's what I want to know too.
He's from New Zealand, so he's talking about some weird stuff, dude. He means
okay, like, sausage rolls. I would not. And then mini pies. Do you mean like mincemeat pies? Mini pies.
I hope McDonald's apple pies pop up.
Well, no, because minced.
I mean, if it's the mini pies I'm seeing, these mini apple pies, then I'm taking the pies.
That's the thing. I don't think that's what he means.
I think it's.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think he's talking savory stuff.
Yeah, and I've definitely had sausage. Like now that I look at sausage rolls, they're a British thing, which I mean, I guess obviously would. And they've been hit or miss for me. So
I don't have an opinion on this. I've never eaten either one of these things.
But it's way better.
Sausages are
fine. Pigs in blanket. They're delicious and dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with mini pies in that face off, not knowing exactly what I'm picking. But I'm confident if I pick
blood
mini
pie.
pies,
yeah, I was gonna say it's blood pie. Yeah.
I mean, it could be blood sausage too. So
that's true. You know what? That's true. That's a good.
I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna take the chili cheese waffle fries. Okay. I picked that.
Just grab it from the other comment. Grimhane asks lots of questions. I'll just warn you, but these bunch right here are as the following. Are Animal Crossing fans masochists with the lack of backup options for save data and Nintendo acting like saving your game a brand new concept for this game?
I don't. I kind of get what he's saying, but like I feel like we covered it with it's just kind of.
We'll just say yes. Everybody's
sure.
All Animal Crossing fans are masochists, like the worst kind of people, I guess.
The worst kind of people. That's
how you really bring in fans to this channel.
I'm very much kidding, obviously.
No, he's not. He means it. He tells me every day. He's like, since you like Animal Crossing, I hate you.
So true. I hate a lot of people. That's very characteristic of me.
Yes.
Yeah, the out-of-text fanatixfour is really going to ruin this channel.
Parker, the untold story.
I didn't think that Parker was going to be the one that got canceled first.
I'm immune to getting canceled.
And then...
Well, actually, no, I'll get canceled because of Bob Rip. Never mind.
Yeah.
I forgot.
This is a question specifically for Dan. Grimhane asks, hi, Dan. Cookies or crackers?
Ooh.
How come we don't get to answer this question?
You can answer the question too.
No, he said, "Hi, Dan."
Oh, okay. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go. I eat crackers more than I eat cookies, so I'm gonna go with crackers. Crackers are delicious.
Does that mean that they're better, though? Does that actually mean that?
No, I would argue that both are equal.
Because like I drink water more than I drink like freaking I don't know like smoothies, but I wouldn't say.
Yeah, but I really like Cheez-Its. Like I really like Cheez-Its.
What Cheez-It is your specific poison?
Well, now I
original.
Have to do this. I have to do the stupid reduced fat Cheez-Its.
Oh, what a
because my doctor said, "Hey, maybe
what a 30-year-old dude. You're 38.
God, you hit 30 and your body just goes like, you know what? I'm done."
That was me. Yeah, like 23 was the age where my body was like, "Man, metabolism. I love metabolizing food." And then it was like, you know what? It's a lot easier if I don't, though. And so that's where we're at now. Lame sauce. Ripperonis. Rock and Val.
Old. The cookies are better for the record.
Because
like graham crackers are cool, and yeah, Cheez-Its fine, but like Cheez-Its are barely a cracker, dude. They're kind of like a chip.
Yeah, but then you get into your Ritz game and like roasted vegetable Ritz. Like, come on, like that's some high level cracker.
You said roasted.
I mean, like wheat thins, they count as crackers, right?
Yeah, wheat thins are good.
If you're feeling bold, you can get the Triscuit, where you can get all the
Triscuits are trash, dude.
Triscuits good.
Triscuits are bad.
They're
like Triscuits are disappointing because I'm like, yeah, man, you guys got wheat thin. Oh, these are Triscuits. I'm leaving. I'm never coming back.
Here's the thing, with a cracker.
Yes,
with a cracker, you could put more on the cracker. You could do like peanut butter.
Yeah, but the cracker is crackers. But the cracker is worse, dude. We're not asking about the stuff that goes on the cracker.
Okay, get rid of the rest of the questions. We're going after crackers.
Rock and Val asks, do you think that Nintendo will ever come up with a new IP? Question mark. Besides Town.
Yes. Yeah. Also, Town's not really Nintendo's IP. I don't even think they're publishing that.
Mm-hmm. What was the last new Nintendo specific IP? ARMS, and then Ring Fit.
The
Labo,
Switch, Labo. Yeah, Labo is probably the newest one.
Yeah.
Well, Ring Fit.
Oh yeah, true.
the
like,
next one.
If you're thinking
That's
like,
true.
Yeah.
True.
No,
That's true.
I mean, and this one's kind of related. Matt the Casual, which I assume is Casualverse, probably, says, "What's the next genre Nintendo should Nintendo-fy?" Which kind of goes in hand with that last question.
I don't know too many more genres that they haven't that are like big genres anyway.
I think it's, I mean, like, because most of their games and genres and stuff,
I guess, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Paper Mario, sort of,
True, but like that's a big one.
Agreed. Like Nintendo, a lot of what they do is take something that's like, I don't know, like racing is kind of a serious genre, and then they did Mario Kart, which is a less serious version of that genre, and so they do that with a lot of it. So like theoretically, they could do the more serious versions of things like a sim racing game that's just theirs, but like I don't think they're going to. Also, that wouldn't be Nintendo-fying it. That would just be having a Nintendo developed game, you know, in that style. But
there's only one genre that if they were wanting to jump in something that's popular and they wanted to carve out their market in that, it would be a MOBA. But like that's a pretty hard market.
Sounds
to
like nerd stuff,
into.
dude.
well, and also
It
like
is
it's not
nerd
very
stuff.
it's not very console. I mean, like it wouldn't
It's very
fit super
PC.
well on the Switch. Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, I mean,
it
there
might
is,
do well on the Switch.
it might do, like, it's Nintendo. Like,
Right. Yeah.
we just gotta.
I guess I more make control scheme kind of stuff where like PC wise,
It still might do
It's still
really
possible.
okay. I haven't played many MOBAs, so
I've
Especially
jumped
if you look
between.
into like touchscreen stuff and do all that.
Yeah. Because I mean, the thing is like when I was at TGN, I was part of their Heroes of the Storm streaming team. So I played a lot of Heroes of the Storm. My friends way into League, so I played a little bit of it. It's still aggravating. I still yell "screw this game" at the top of my lungs at least once per game. But like, I mean, that would be the only thing off the top of my head that they haven't really touched on that they could do if they decided they wanted to.
Thank you, Parker.
For what? Oh,
for the thing you just did.
For the magic. For looking so handsome today. You're just with your new haircut. You're just looking so great.
I was mad. They cut it shorter than I wanted them to, and I was mad about it. But
same,
it's
dude.
fine.
Same.
I need to get my head. It's out of control.
Way to go, Dan.
Way to go.
Yeah. That's on me. My bad.
Next question is from Grimhane again, and we're gonna get some more of them because Grimhane, what's up?
Oh, good Grimhane.
What's the first game that you feel made you a gamer? The game that made you get into video games?
Pokemon Yellow.
Wonder Boy 3 and the Dragon's Trap.
This is a multifaceted question for me, as
or could
we
be
may
Zelda.
all know.
It could have been The Legend of Zelda that did it.
What, the first one? You're
the NES?
Yeah, the very first one.
You're old.
Yeah, you what? Yes, I'm old. All right. Yeah, I have life experience, AJ. Maybe you should get some.
I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah, who needs it? Just get a diaper bag. That's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, dude, it's all about the diaper bag. That's a big brain stuff right there.
We got it. Galaxy Brain plays. For me, I think like it was Pokemon Blue 100% back in the day, but then
the bad one
coming back around, Breath of the Wild. So all of that.
Because he abandoned us. He abandoned the gamers, man. He said gamers are dumb, and I hate them.
Yeah, gamers suck.
What a bunch of nerds.
Now I just want to go be one. It is funny though, because I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself in just a gamer in that term.
Yeah.
But like I definitely am. But I think the term itself also has a vast, for me, like what I think of as gamer is somebody that like you
have no other interest in.
Yeah,
like that's
right.
Yeah.
And like you know, shirk other responsibilities. I mean, it's more like an addiction to games at that point, which you know, and like I don't know.
Parker's going to get canceled for that opinion.
Oh man, I never knew.
But I think, it's just a terminology thing, and I think that's what I was just like raised.
Yeah,
to
it's
think,
like a word association.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's like what comes to mind with that. But in the like traditional sense, 100%, I'm a gamer. Like played 600 hours of Switch last year. Like,
yeah. Well, the definition of gamer has
also you play freaking Divinity Original Sin. That's
now you're a gamer.
You can't even like have the caveat of being like a casual gamer. Like you put 4 hours into Divinity Original Sin and you're already a hardcore gamer, dude. Like that's a hardcore gamer game.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I would say is that I mean, again, completely the statement immediately makes me the old dude, but whatever.
It's true.
But like the term of gamer has changed so much. Just
back in my day.
No, I have to literally state that. It's like back when I was growing up, when I was in school,
right?
Playing video games was the nerd thing to do, and it was just like that. Oh, whatever. Well, why don't you just play a sport? You stupid. And I'm like,
when I was a kid, because of Pokemon, it was cool, dude. It was like, oh, they're letting you play your Game Boy. You're cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
it's nerd culture has changed a lot over the years too, which is
even more sense
interesting.
Like now you can play
For
anything.
sure.
There's just it's kind of like the whole like nerd stuff meme. That's what it was when I was a kid. Where it was like there's certain games that's like, I mean, definitely it's nerd stuff either way, but like it's less of nerd stuff, so you wouldn't get made fun of for it.
I mean, like I still, even when the Switch first came out, I felt like people judged me standing in the Nintendo aisle at Walmart or Target or something like that. Whereas now, not at all the case. And so, like, I think, I don't know.
I think that's nerd stuff. Like, if you're to the point where you're like judging somebody because like, oh, they like weed, like that's nerd stuff. That's like gatekeeping within the gamer niche.
It's true. It is funny because, like, go for it.
I was just gonna say it's almost like it was more of the parents that were making it, not the cool thing.
Yeah,
because like the parents were like, "You just sit and stare at the
all
TV."
you do is play on your Nintendo.
We had to make sure that the Nintendo or whatever we were playing was turned off before my dad got home because he did not like it. And so he would always assume that if he came home and we were playing Nintendo or whatever, he was like, "You didn't do any homework," blah, blah, blah. Like he just assumed we'd been playing. And so we always had that sort of mentality of like, playing video games is going to rot our brains out, even though like everyone at the school had Super Nintendo and we all wanted to talk about Super Nintendo.
And we talked about this before, but it's like it definitely has like a different stigma than like TV, because people can spend all day, like all their free time watching TV, and that's just normal, right? It's like, I've been binge watched freaking Game of Thrones or whatever for 16 hours today, but that's fine. But if somebody was like, yo, I beat Spider-Man today, I played through it all 16 hours, then it's like, oh man, you have no life. You know?
Yeah.
It's a weird stigma.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Next question. That is a good old answer. Cowboy asks, probably will never happen, but would you like to see a Pokemon game where all of the regions are playable, and how do you think it could be executed? MMO style or open world single player game?
That's how you end the series, right? Like if you're gonna stop doing Pokemon, you never will, but
you could. I think you could do that as like this is the last game of this ilk, and then reboot it.
Sure.
Or I mean, alternatively, if it's an MMO thing, then it would be ongoing. Where like after like, so do an MMO where this is like the base game, everybody's playing this, whatever, and then have new generation come out, and then when the next generation comes out, then the region from that generation comes to.
I don't even think that needs to be an MMO, because like, would you consider like Minecraft to be an MMO? Because I don't know if I would.
No. I see what you're saying.
I think Pokemon needs to be more like a Minecraft, where I don't need all 12 million people that are playing Pokemon on launch day to be playing it at once. I just need for the world to be open enough for me to be like, oh yeah, me and my like 6 friends or whatever can jump. Yeah, like that whole thing. Like that would be cool if it was like a max of 8 trainers in a world like Animal Crossing. If it was like Animal Crossing, that'd be dope. It doesn't need to be an MMO, but yeah, I think that they could have like a base of like, okay, we start on this region, or like they release a game in Kanto again, and then they build off of that, right? And like, all right, you beat the Kanto, or even do a thing of like, they do the mystery dungeon thing where you take like a personality test, and it's like, oh, you're a kid from freaking Johto or whatever, right? And then Parker's a kid from Sinnoh, and I gotta judge him because Sinnoh's trash. No, I'm joking.
But the thing is like if they so they make this game and then they release a new game that takes place in a different region. Why would you make the new game and not just add the new region to?
You have to be different.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you could do that. You could release a new game as a region. Like there's no reason why they couldn't release a new region and do the same amount of content and add that on to the other game and just charge you $60 for that.
I think the other thing too is it depends on the mechanics of the game, where like if it's based off of the regular battle mechanics and leveling up and all that kind of stuff, then you could do that. Or if it's not, and it's some kind of online-ish experience kind of a thing based on a different kind of mechanic that's more different, whatever, then at that point, just make the new game, have that be more traditional, and then bring it over into the thing, which would be, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah, I think the mechanics would have to be vastly different to justify it. Like you don't see World of Warcraft became its own thing. They didn't release new Warcraft games like the RTS version during that entire thing. It doesn't make sense so it has to be vastly different enough to do it. I
think there's two ways that they could do it. They could do it exactly the same as it is now, and then the new game like that isn't a part of this world or whatever, right? That is the thing that's different. So like to keep the current fans that are like that would be so mad if they stop making turn-based games. They get this like big like send off to like what the games used to be. Where it's like, oh, you got all the regions, you got Kanto through freaking Galar all in one game, that sort of situation.
I think for sure if all the regions existed in one game, I don't think it wouldn't make for a great single player experience because there would just be too many regions to go. Eventually, like pacing wise, either everything would have to be shrunk.
An exaggerated boss rush at that point.
Exactly. Because either it would be kind of like Kanto is in Gen 2, where like you go back and it's like, oh, it's kind of empty a little bit. And it's like, I'm just going to zip on through here, or it would be whatever the other thing I was thinking is. But you get
I think they need to make it like a more of a social thing where it's like people literally come from different regions and they have different routes and stuff, or maybe even different towns. Because like in the Pokemon world, not every person that starts their journey gets a starter Pokemon as we see it now. Like there's Pokemon, like there's trainers that were like in Gen 2 or whatever, and her starter was a Girafarig. Stuff like that, where it's like a random generator of like, you were born here. So that means your starter is amongst these Pokemon or whatever, right?
Yep.
Or, hear me out, take a hardship.
This is a whole nother
Hear me out?
This is another video.
I know, but like, get rid of all, like, you're not a kid from Palatown. You're not a kid from anywhere.
You're a Professor Oak, dude.
You all play as the various teams from the regions, and you battle for control over the world.
All of that. Or
I love it.
Let me do any of it.
Yeah.
Let me be freaking Nurse Joy, dude.
Yep.
Fully,
I 100% agreed.
Whatever, man.
Because it's just great.
Yeah.
And going back to Grimhain to finish up Discord questions. Now that Dan has started the moving process, how long before he moves to New York?
When around the time when we're starting the food channel, when we like the thing that I think is going to be the easiest way to convince him to go to New York is if his breadwinner is his channel, because then we become more important to that whole thing, right? But right now it's game theory, so like you got to be where game theory's at.
I want to be where the game theory is.
Exactly. So Fanatics is launching. He's moving. That's going to be part of the announcement video. It's like Dan's going to be in episode 1.
I'm sure Alyssa's going to be thrilled about that.
Well,
yeah.
Game Theory has to buy Dan then.
True. Next question. Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Corn Pops? Or if you have some other cereal you think is superior, what is it?
It's definitely not Corn Pops. Corn Pops
obviously, we're gonna pick a
tier, dude.
I think like giving two very specific options, like crackers or cookies, like that's a thing, because it's like I have to weigh those options. I don't have other options to like put into it. But if you're gonna give an either or and then also say or anything else, like
Then just ask
gonna
him
pick
his
something
favorite
else.
cereal.
See, but I feel like I mean, maybe I'm wrong because I'm the young one, right? Maybe my taste buds are less dead than yours. Or something. But
Okay,
like,
what's your cereal pick?
if I'm not. Let me finish. If he just said Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Corn Pops, there's no way that I'm picking Corn Pops. There's zero possibility of.
I mean, it's a bad either
or
at that point, but I mean, I respect it and I enjoy it.
That's all I'm saying.
But it's definitely weighted on one side, definitely towards Corn Pops, of course.
Oh,
no,
God, dude.
Honestly, like, okay, there's a lot of good cereals. But I'm kind of, I like various Special Ks, like Special K with chocolate is great. Special K with strawberry. I will also say though, the one that I've eaten the most in the past number of years is Crunchy Raisin Bran.
Oh my God!
Regular Raisin Bran, gross, disgusting.
Wait,
but Crunchy Raisin
difference? What's Crunchy Raisin Bran?
The crunchy ones, it's more like Special K flakes or whatever, but with lots of raisins and whatever. As opposed to
the only old person cereal I like is Honey Bunches of Oats. The rest
those
of
are good.
Garbage, dude.
Yep.
Regular
Raisin Bran though, it's like each of the flakes are just little thin cardboard pieces. But Crunchy Raisin Bran, it's like they're coated or something like that and thick and
it's
like Special K.
It's all about cinnamon life. Life cereal is
that's good
deceptively delicious.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know if I want this. It just looks like basic like
it looks like life cereal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you take a bite and you're like, these are full of flavor, and I'm glad about that.
Full of flavor.
Yeah, I can see an 8-year-old saying that. This is full of flavor.
This is full of flavor.
I really want that on an ad now. It'll be great.
4-year-old that eats it. It's full of flavor.
A little baby, just straight up. Next question. Dan plus AJ plus MDB, I suppose. Pokemon fan game video win. You don't need to read this part. Yes, I know. Oh, wait, what?
That was disrespectful.
I'm not going to read that part. I didn't. I backspaced it. But Pokemon fan game win with the three of you guys.
I don't know.
That was disrespectful that he said, I suppose, for MDB.
Yeah, no, MDB would 100% be in that one. I don't know yet.
Backspacing it out. It's like it never existed.
I mean, it's going to happen. I just...
Yep, it's going to happen.
I have Sonic fan games next, and then I have to do Doom mods, and then Doom Eternal, and so sometime after that.
There we go.
But Doom Eternal, though, right?
I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know so much about that game.
You say something about your taxes?
Yeah, I dropped all my taxes.
Oh, no. Why'd you do that? I will say the nice perk of working full-time, doing just a job, is I don't have to do the crazy taxes stuff that I know that you guys are about to have to do or are already doing or whatever.
Hey, I'm on a W-2 with Game Theory now, and it feels
nice.
Good.
That's so nice because I hate
1099s so much.
My job before where I was now was like business management for a bunch of recording artists, and so that was like quarterly reports and quarterly tax returns and stuff, and some of them, the biggest artists that I had toured the last year that I was there toured in like 25 or 30 states or something, which meant we had to do quarterly estimated tax for every single one.
For music, that sucks.
It was the worst, like so bad. Not fun at all.
Oh, we got another Twitter question.
Oh, go for it. Throw it in there. But yeah, I'll just throw it in there. I'll ask the rest of the ones. We'll keep on going. If one of the three,
how many questions does Grimhain get? He's gotten like 50.
I mean, he gets as much as he wants, dude. He's asking them.
He is.
It's true.
We extend that.
I was polar shift there, Dan.
I know. Well, I was like,
okay, yeah.
I'm just like, man, Grimhain, you're asking so many questions. And I was like, oh, it's Grimhain. Grimhain has earned his share of questions.
It's true. All right. Next question. If one of the three console companies had to go, which would you pick to get the axe and why? Assuming that Xbox get the axe, PC games from Microsoft would go with it.
Okay, Microsoft. Bye. Steam exists. I ain't worried. Axe Microsoft.
Depends for me how the future goes as far as cloud gaming on the Switch, because if it's xCloud based, I'm going PS4 can shenanigans out of there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say PS4 can get yeeted. I don't really care. I think that they don't really bring as much to the industry as far as like
you're wrong, but okay.
as far as like a service to gaming. Like they have their exclusives or whatever, which is fine if you like third person like narrative games where you get to press X sometimes. And deliver boxes and but like Xbox has like Games Pass, so like, they're way more consumer minded. Like PlayStation, I feel like they're stuck in just as much as people like to say that Nintendo's stuck in the past. I think PlayStation is very much so stuck in the past. And the only time that they do stuff that's consumer friendly, it's when their back is up against the wall. When they go mortgage your house for this new console, and they're like, oh shoot, people don't like that. Okay, let's pretend that we're friends this generation, and then everybody likes them again, and then they're like, crossplay? Are you dumb? That would lose us money. No, I think Sony's just the worst one in that. And regard.
if they didn't exist, we would also, all the third-party exclusives that they get would just go somewhere else theoretically. But we would lose the first-party PS4 stuff, which is important.
Which is the most upsetting thing.
Which I'm sad about Spider-Man, but the rest of them I could take it or leave it.
God of War. Last of Us?
Yeah, I don't really care about that.
Uncharted?
The Last of Us is cool. Uncharted can definitely F off.
I forgot how much you hate that too.
Oh, man. Interesting. Good hot takes right here. And the last one from Discord, and then we got just 3 from Twitter.
Also, you know what? You know what's an interesting thing about that?
What?
Naughty Dog, their first game was like on Nintendo platforms. So like just because PlayStation doesn't exist doesn't mean that most of their exclusives wouldn't have existed because their first-party studios were acquired.
Yeah, but you would have to assume that if we're axing them at this particular moment, those studios currently attached to Sony would go, because otherwise there's some Microsoft studio stuff.
If we're axing them now, I think that's even less so a possibility. I think if we're axing PlayStation now, a lot of the bigger third parties would either get acquired by other studio or like other.
In that case, axe them all except for Nintendo. They're all gonna go anywhere. Put them all on my Switch. Then problem solved, right?
That's true, but I think that the reason why I say Microsoft is because I don't really care about
the infrastructure.
Yeah, like the games part of it, whatever. Like if we're just talking about games, then Nintendo could be the only one that exists. I do not care about the rest. But I think that service-wise, Sony just doesn't do as much. They have worse versions.
Instead, I'm gonna change my answer. Okay, I'm keeping Microsoft. You guys have convinced me. I'm gonna kill Stadia.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, we got him.
xCloud's already going to do that, but
yeah, you said 3 console companies. I see 4 in Stadia.
Oh man. Okay, last question from Grimhane: is garlic bread the best kind of bread? If not, why and what is? Also, you're wrong because garlic bread is indeed the best. I could eat garlic bread all the time. I could just keep on eating it forever and whatever. And then somebody says, no, then you'd get fat. And then I'd say bread makes you fat. And then they say bread makes you fat. And it's a quote from Scott Pilgrim, you dummies.
Nice.
But we high-fived, y'all. It happened.
But what about peanut butter and
jelly? You can't top Scott Pilgrim. You're done.
But what about peanut butter and jelly and stuff?
No, that's a sandwich.
Am I putting that on garlic bread, dude? Yeah, but how do I make a sandwich, Dan?
I am giving up. I'm giving up peanut butter and jelly because you want to know something? Garlic bread is going to go better with everything else. Turkey sandwich, garlic bread, better. All right? Garlic
Turkey's
bread.
Too dry.
Boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Big brain.
Booming it all over the place. That's not a thing.
That's bad phrasing.
It is. Garlic bread. I like it. I would like some right now, really, if we're being honest.
It's great. I agree. It's great.
I'm ready for us to start finishing up because I'm hungry.
I know. Alyssa, can we get garlic bread? Dinner.
I just put on corned beef and cabbage. We'll have it in 5 hours.
Okay, never mind. We're doing corned beef and cabbage. We can get garlic bread for that.
Rip, dude.
That's extra carbs we don't need.
Rip. Rip me.
Rip, dude. Looks like Alyssa doesn't care about Scott Pilgrim, dude.
Apparently not.
No, she just cares about my health or something. Stupid.
Trying to keep you alive.
Overrated, dude.
Overrated. I'll die by garlic bread.
Twitter questions. Here we go. We got 3 of them from some people. I'm trying to do a thing. Okay. Mid School Ninja starring Duncan. So Duncan said, yo, have you tried GeForce Now? If so, what's your impressions? And if not, why? Okay. Love you, BB. Have a good day. Bye.
No, I have not.
I haven't.
Because I'm not a PC gamer, dude.
Is it bad that I had no idea that this was even a thing?
I only knew about it as of the last week or whatever. I've seen some people talking about it. Because I guess maybe it just came
Isn't it on the NVIDIA Shield or something?
So it can be on that, but it is NVIDIA, their streaming thing. But I think you can also just do it on PC and maybe smartphones. I don't know. Yeah, I need to look more into it. I don't know that I necessarily have controllers that'll connect to it is one thing. And B, I don't have any
pro controller. If it's I
don't have a pro controller, you dummy. I just use Joy-Cons.
You can use the Joy-Cons too. Dumb.
If it lets me, then yeah.
I can't freaking keep paying for all these stupid services.
It's got a free version, so that's a thing.
It's okay. Here's the free version. This is what it says. It's standard access and a 1-hour session length. I'm gonna game for a single hour. Come on.
Hey man, renders, dude.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. For 1 hour.
I guarantee you all the games that are on this are in my Steam library.
I think actually it pulls from your Steam library and then you get to play those. So I guess the idea is
I'm just going to use Steam now.
Why are you yelling, man?
Because
it's not necessary.
I'm upset.
I need to look more into it to understand more things about it. Honestly, until whatever cloud thing comes to Switch, it's not going to impact me very much at all. Because I'm not PC gaming now, and I'm not going to be PC gaming in the future.
Yep.
But
same.
There's that.
There's so many other ways to stream your freaking games on Steam or PC. So adding one other extra service, it's I don't know how it could be any better. I could be wrong. This could be the best thing ever, and I'm just yelling at something that I don't understand, which is a very old person thing to do.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I made it. Yep. I've done it.
Congratulations.
I'm irrelevant.
You already got there when you were talking about back in my day, to be fair.
Yeah, as soon as you say back in my day, that's the sting.
Your just hair turns white.
White.
Just immediately white.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of old people, Falcon asks, he's not the old person, but it gets to it.
Okay.
He asks, what's your favorite gaming memory from your youth? My big brother worked at Blockbuster Video, and one Friday he came home. Blockbuster Video.
Wow.
Which Blockbuster Video didn't even coincide, I don't think, with hashtags. Its life ended before
maybe a brief. Short.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe. So his brother works at a Blockbuster Video, and one Friday he came home with a strange fighting game with Mario, Pikachu, and Boy Zelda. I was 9 years old and played it religiously. Oh, he also came home with an imported copy of Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22, but we don't talk about that game. Oof. My other favorite memory is playing F-Zero X with my granddad. Ironically, he played as Silver Nielsen, who too is an old man.
That was not ironic. That's serendipitous.
That's perfect. But the real question is, what's your favorite gaming memory from your youth?
I talked about this before, but when my mom and me used to play Pokemon Yellow, and it was basically her save because I couldn't read, dude. Are you kidding me? We had 2 Butterfrees, and this girl that lived next door to us or whatever, she wanted to trade. So I gave her one of the Butterfrees. It was apparently the good one. I traded. I traded one of those. My mom was fine with that. But I also traded Pikachu for Charmander because I didn't know how to get Charmander out of the box, but I wanted Charmander, dude. So I did that, and then my mom made me trade her back.
And then it didn't follow you around anymore, right?
Nope.
Oh, you broke the game.
You broke the game,
dude. But I didn't care. Yep. I just wanted Charmander.
Yeah, there you go. I think for me, it's Pokemon Blue, and honestly, it's just a couple snapshots of being going to the store, seeing it for the first time and getting to buy it. And then just other random snapshots in my memory of like being in the car and playing it on the way to the zoo at some point and then somewhere else. Like, yeah, I just remember me sitting in the car and playing it and just being really happy playing Pokemon Blue. Like,
were you
nothing super
disappointed when you got
specific.
to the zoo? You're like, none of these freaking Pokemon.
I'm pretty
fire.
Yes, I was very disappointed. I was disappointed because that zoo had wallabies, which are super cute and fun, but they're like little kangaroos, which I would be more excited about now. But as a kid, I was like, but these aren't real kangaroos. I was like, what's wrong with these little tiny kangaroos?
This is lice.
It's lice?
It's lice.
I don't know.
They're very small kangaroos.
Yeah, they're very small.
They jump, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
I think one of my favorite ones was back when with Diablo 2. And
Nerd.
I know what's coming. I get it. I'm fine with it. All right. I'm okay with it. I remember we put my brother's computer on a cart with wheels so he could move his computer from his room into mine so we can connect with our Ethernet cord and play Diablo together. That's
awesome.
Fun. I think like that. Eventually, we got a longer cable that could extend far enough for both of us to sit in our respective rooms. But it's not like we had Discord back then, so we would just yell out the doors like, "You want the sword? No? Okay, I'll give you the sword."
That's really great. I realize, honestly, like I didn't play. Most of my gaming as a kid was somewhat isolated and like, isolated is a strong word, but like, I don't know that I played a ton of games with other people as a kid. So like, that's something that's always been interesting. And like AJ, we've talked about is very different in our experiences of like yours is more primarily multiplayer to a large degree or like focused around other people, whereas mine just wasn't. So interesting stuff. But we got one last question and,
it's interesting because I have tons of editing I still have to do.
Yep. Here we go. Elder Basic asks, would you rather every time you laugh, a puppy dies, or every time you fall in love, there's a genocide? Oh, no. Feel free to not ask this on air. Oh, no. Well, here, let me say this. At this point, I'm done falling in love again. So
see, that's the thing. That's the loophole.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you laugh a lot.
I laugh a lot. I don't know if you were saying, yeah, I mean,
puppy death. That's a lot.
I especially laugh a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
so everybody does.
In
yes.
This podcast, how many puppies died, dude?
So many puppies.
Yeah, one just died right there. Did that count as a laugh?
Oh God!
No, like,
oh no!
Puppies.
So like, I feel like you have to go with the fall in love one, because like, even if you haven't yet, it's only going to happen once, dude. And
well, you hope
what dies.
You would hope
better still be okay.
It's going to happen less, no matter what, unless you are a very sad person.
No, but the thing is like that's wiping out.
Yes,
that's not just one thing. That's many things.
Yeah.
Dying.
Hold on, wait. What's the like?
I'm trying to keep this as like YouTube friendly as possible.
I'm going with
really
this way.
To.
You ready? At this point, if the rule is starting right now, then it's just not going to happen at all. It's just past the loophole. Like, yeah, it's not even like, oh, it'll have to happen once. It's just like, we're good. Every time I fall in love, like it's not going to happen again. It's already done. I'm married and I'm very happy and I love my wife. So like,
but I mean, the thing is like love like, can be a broader term because it's like,
it says a large group of people.
Yeah.
How big is that?
I mean, that's also pretty bad.
It is bad. It's definitely bad. But either way, like you're killing significantly more.
What a weird way to end an episode.
Yeah, this is dark.
It is.
This took a turn for episode 100.
Okay, I'm going to end it with something more positive. I need to figure out what it's going to be first, but it's going to be Fanatics Foods, obviously.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're tasting it. You're getting like your theoretical taste buds ready to go, man. I like it.
Oh, he doesn't have actual taste buds. That explains something.
Only Asian foods, so like Korean, Thai, Indian, any of the Japanese, any of those cuisines, or only European foods, so like Italian, French, British, German, whatever.
I'll probably go European food because, like, I think I eat Asian food significantly less. Like significantly.
Asian food can get real weird, is the thing. But also at the same time, haggis is a thing, and that's real weird. So I guess it also.
I mean, you don't have to eat the bad versions of the thing.
Yeah, sure.
But you make a good point. I had haggis in Scotland and was like, why am I eating
spaghetti?
I probably would go, much as I'd love to say Asian, I'd probably go European just for comfort foods kinds of things. Because like a lot of Asian food is great. Like I like a decent amount of Indian food and Japanese food and stuff. But like I'm gonna eat spaghetti. You know,
all that stuff is like Asian food for me feels more like an occasion sort of thing. Like every once in a while, I'm like, I want Chinese food, you know, but like I'm not like randomly like I want spaghetti. Sometimes I just eat spaghetti. Sometimes it just happens.
See, I mean, the thing is like where we are and where I was in LA, like Asian food is definitely more prominent. When I moved to California, I had a lot more like Thai and
see that's the thing
because it's real fancy, right? So you have to wear a lot of ties.
What I'm thinking is like going to get it right. Like I'm not talking about going to a because I don't order spaghetti. I guess with like pizza, that's a different thing. Like you get that from restaurants.
You thinking I go to Chinese restaurants and actually eat at the restaurants?
No, I'm thinking that you don't make Chinese food at your house.
I mean, that's a good point. The question, okay. Where does the burger lie on all this? Is the burger safe? If the burger's safe,
burger's safe.
Okay. Pizza is technically
European.
It's Italian.
No.
I mean, the original Italian pizza is like super different, and it's like a cream and whatever. But I think it's still kind of evolved out. I did watch or listen to a podcast on pizza at some point. It's been a long time, but I would say it's still primarily originated from Italy or whatever, in some form or fashion.
All right. I've taken everything you guys have said into consideration along with my own background. And I've come with the decision that, European, like, because French pastries, like, am I really going to give that up?
Belgian chocolate.
I just think that European food is more prominent overall. Like I think it's more likely for people in America to like have
for
that
us to make.
Yeah, exactly. Have that in their house. We can make you know?
Yeah. I'll go with your. That'll really upset Alyssa because I'm pretty sure she would go with Asian because ramen is her favorite food. But I also really like pizza. So,
but I've got a closing surprise for you both. Neither of them are going anywhere.
Yeah,
that's true. That means that they're going somewhere.
It's a Christmas miracle.
They're both going away now. They're both disappearing.
No.
Tomorrow we only have burgers, fries, and shakes, which I would still be okay with. I mean, I'm putting that on the record.
But you know who is going somewhere? Us. We're done. We're leaving this place of recording. And we're going to probably eat some foods.
Eat food.
And edit podcasts. And I'm going to watch Birds of Prey with my wife and her sister and her friend.
Oh, yeah. I got to go see that.
So,
in Sonic movie next.
I know. I'm excited about that, whether it's going to be bad or not.
It's going to be
it's going to be bad, but
it's going to be
medium bad, maybe. I don't know.
No, I'm calling it. It's going to be bad.
Good or like better or worse than Detective Pikachu?
Worse than Detective Pikachu.
Worse than Detective Pikachu.
Okay, here we go. There we go. That's the prediction. Worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. AJ, you want to ask a question for the comments? We can just ask them our question.
How spicy is the spicy meatball? Also, which movie is going to be worse, Detective Pikachu or Sonic the Hedgehog?
Those are great questions. Let us know all that and more in the comments down below, or don't comment. We want to hear from you. See you in Discord. Goodbye.
Discord. And subscribe to Dan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't say that once.
Yeah. I post videos
on Twitter
at some times. You can catch it every blue moon. Look out! If you see the full moon, head to my channel.
Yeah, but you can go to Game Theory and watch his editing.
And in all fairness,
you probably already do.
Twitch.tv/That Cybert Channel. I am streaming every week.
True.
Every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Nice. Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Smash Brothers is Sunday, which would be your tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Indeed.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I miss you.
See you.